I asked him what the reaction to him was when he first appeared in a Cork jersey.
I don't know, I suppose they were saying, who's this guy? I suppose a lot of people didn't know me because of I didn't have any great success with Kildare. We had never won a Leinster Championship. I had been on River Cup teams for 4 or 5 years in Leinster, but I suppose if you don't win all Irelands and you don't get to the end of it all, like you're not that well known. And I suppose I came to Cork like with that kind of a thing, like a lot of supporters didn't know me and they didn't know what to expect like that. And it was funny at that time. I remember I hadn't met Shea Fahy in a few years, and it was funny. Like the next time I met him was inside in the dressing room here in Parky Quay behind me, and Shea was having a shower with me. So we were just having a good chat because it was about 2 or 3 years before that I hadn't seen him, and at that stage we were playing with Kildare, and it was funny to meet him there.
Well, 1987, Larry, you really started to make your mark in the championship, and especially as a free taker.
Yeah, well, John O'Driscoll always said that he made me because I remember in the Munster football final he got fouled towards the end, and I got a free to level the game. And again in the All-Ireland semi-final he got fouled again, so John says that anyway, that he made me anyway as a good footballer. So lucky enough, like as I said, it was a 50 yards free and it was the last kick of the game, and I suppose Galway had made a great comeback in that game and probably very unlucky not to win it the first day. We were lucky enough to get the draw and beat them, easy enough in the replay really.
And there it is, Cork are the All-Ireland football champions. For Billy Morgan's men, the Odyssey ends in some style. The Taoiseach there, I'm sure, will be one of those people who will salute the Cork team. Cork fashion a victory over Mayo. In the end, there were just 3 points between the teams, but Mayo made Cork fight every step of the way in what was a memorable All-Ireland final.
You lose in All-Ireland, there's no great advantage going in the next year because the pressure's on it to try and deliver. We had lost, you could say, maybe 3 All-Irelands because with the drawn match in '88, so it wasn't an easy year to try and, I suppose, get the confidence back. And I felt like that year was, the big plus for us that year was to win a national title. We won the National League that year, playing very well. We beat Dublin in a great league final. We played some fantastic football. It gave us a lot of confidence to go on and try and win that All-Ireland that we were missing. And I thought that was the great help to us that year. And '89, as I said, in fairness to Mayo, they had their chances on the day, but I felt we were that little bit apprehensive and nervous, and we just pulled away at the vital stage in the last 10 minutes to win that game. And it was nice, I suppose, to get the monkey off the back, in other words, and get that All-Ireland medal, which the team really deserved, really,
So I suppose that would have made 90 more enjoyable. Second medal and the double, of course, of Cork.
1980 was special because I suppose Meath were there again, and Meath had beaten us in the league semi-final that year, and had beaten us in 3 previous All-Irelands really. And I suppose the team were still being looked upon like as a team like that probably couldn't deliver again Meath, and this motivation was there, and I suppose that the motivation is also with the double was there as well that year, and it helped us along the way. And the All-Ireland final it was nail biting, I remember, and I suppose Shade killed me to say like that. I never seen him kicking 4 pints from playing life, but I was delighted to see him going over the bar the same day. He had a terrific game that day, and certainly that was the main difference really at the end of the day. It ended up 11 points to 9, but I think the anxiety and the tension that was on not alone the players out there, but the supporters, the anxiety of just to try and win the All-Ireland and beat Meath and try and to achieve the double, which I suppose realistically probably was never achieved before as regards 100 years ago. It was club scene, and the county team was probably the first time ever it was done.
You've always enjoyed your football so much and such a dedicated player, but came the day, Larry, when you had to say you'd worn the county jersey for the last time.
As regards last year, I suppose it was a chance. I was playing well in the club championship, and the selectors kind of asked me would I consider myself to go out there and give it a go as a player. And first I was reluctant to do it. But then when I thought about it for a few days, I said, any day that you get a chance or an opportunity to wear the county jersey is a proud day. And I said I'd give it a go, and if I had anything to contribute to the team, I felt it was important not to kind of let the team down or let the side down. And I took the chance, and as I said, I don't regret it one bit. I always feel like that this team was always very close, like to get into an All-Ireland, and very close to be successful. Last year, I even feel 2 years ago against Clare, I felt we were very unlucky to lose the game with a last-minute goal. Last year against Kerry, we led with 10 minutes to go, and Kerry got a goal, they turned the game on its head. Like I think there's only really a toss of a coin. Like Cork were very close to getting there, and like it would be foolish to think otherwise. And I looked and studied it down this year, and as I said, we knew we weren't that far off it. And it's nice. I'm delighted now for the lads like that are there, doing a lot of work, and it's great to be in the All-Ireland family.
I suppose a little bit, Larry, like Jimmy Barry Murphy. In a county like this, there's plenty of people to tell you what you've done wrong if it isn't going quite right.
Yeah, there's times when you feel very low and you feel very lonely, and there's times when you feel like that, you know, is it worth it, like, to be putting in so much work and then to be kind of criticised from all angles. But I suppose that's part and parcel of the managerial end of things. You just have to take it and get on with it, and everybody is different, and I've been no different than anyone else. I've went in and done it my way, and I feel I've been very, very fair with players, and I can walk down the street in the morning, whether I'm out of the job, and whoever takes over, wish them the very best of luck. And as I say, I can walk down and look everybody in the face and say I can give them a fair crack at the whip, and the people that have been very loyal and dedicated themselves to play with Cork are there, and there's no more I can do, you know.
And this morning, Larry, and indeed the whole Cork panel, looked very relaxed as they enjoyed breakfast at the Burlington Hotel. Selector Paddy Sheehan told us how they had been getting on so far.
We came up yesterday evening and we went to Croke Park just for a walk around, just to kill a half an hour and just to get a look at the pitch. We don't see too often, unfortunately. And we came back here and had a meal, and the lads would have to do what they wanted to do then, provided it wouldn't be down in the fire. Some played a bit of down to Randall, played a bit of pool, and others up to the room and just relaxed. And we met him then at 10:15, had a cup of tea and a sandwich, and said all night prayers and went to bed.
And this morning, obviously, everybody seems to be quite relaxed, fitting well.
Yeah, they're all fitting well, they're relaxed, they're up now, and we've matched now, and here in the hotel with Bishop Buckley, Father Martin Cahan, at 10:30. We'll give them a break then again until around 12 o'clock. We'll have a light snack, a bit of a meeting, and we'll leave here at 1:25, all systems go.
Confidence of winning the All-Ireland and indeed achieving the double?
Well, the double hasn't come into it as far as we're concerned, trying to keep away from that, but we did come up to win. Whether we're going to win or not is another thing, but we did come up to win.
Yes, well, in fairness, Paddy, Cork have seen plenty of Croke Park this year between the hurlers and the footballers so far, and of course that double still is on, even if the footballers aren't necessarily thinking of that at this particular moment. Well, we've heard from Larry Tompkins, but what about Sean Boylan? Of course, Sean Boylan's so much part and parcel of Meath's success, indeed responsible for most of that success over the past 15, 18 years. If there were still kings in Ireland, then Sean Boylan would surely be High King of Meath. He's been talking to Marty Morrissey.
My great-great-grandfather lived just right here beside Tara, beside the hill of Tara, and so as far as 1798, it was then that he moved to Dunboyne, and where we live. Our family, lived there since then. And the old tradition that, our family was run on at that stage of the old herbal remedies and all that carry on, that was all done here in Tara and so on. But, going back for years and years and years, it's the place in Meath. It's the high point. Well, Oldcastle's the highest point in Meath, but it's the historic capital of Meath, and probably with regard to Christendom and so on, St. Patrick and the fire in the Hill of Slane, and that you could see it from Tara and so on. But it's a hugely historic place, and it's a wonderful place to be, and there's great energy in it, and there's great life in it, and it evokes an awful lot of memories, I think, for any Meath man, no matter where he is in the world.
Certainly for the Meath football team, because it's around these fields around the Hill of Tara that you train during the winter.
That's right. We've done an enormous amount of work over the years, stamina work here, but there's also more to it than that. I think that it's good for the soul up here as well. You can imagine, the hype of All-Ireland Day, and then maybe in the month of February, not a sinner around, and the lads are running around on the outskirts of the hill or whatever it is, and coming up the hill and so on. It means that you have to dig very deep to find a different type of bottom within yourself. It's like finding your soul. How much do I really want to be here? How much does this mean to me? And then you realise, and they realise, that, what they're doing, they're speaking for every other young lad in the county who wants to play football and play football for his county.
Cork are now going for what they're beginning to nickname the High Five. They won the Roses to Lead at Tidy Towns, the All-Ireland hurling title. Meath are the only team to stop the High Five. Yeah. Would you begrudge it to them?
I wouldn't begrudge it to them, but I wouldn't be giving it to them on a plate. It's like everything else. I hope that if they win it, well, fair play to them. But they'll have to earn it, no more than we'd have to earn it. And really, with no disrespect to all the other things. And it's an incredible achievement to win the hurling like the way they did in atrocious conditions. You know, we're going to be doing our damnedest to win the All-Ireland football title. And if Cork beat it on the day and are the better team on the day, well, we'll be the first ones to shake their hands.
I know you've been happy with Meath's, obviously, voyage to the All-Ireland final, but from a lover of Gaelic football, are you disappointed with the championship this year?
No. Players have had to carry an awful lot of responsibilities over the last few years. There's incredible media attention, not just on the players today, but on the referees. I think in many ways the referees have been put into an intolerable situation. I have never yet met a referee who wouldn't know if there was intent to maim or to hurt or to injure. And all the way the rules have been designed over the last number of years, from taking the sideline balls out of your hand, from quick freeze out of the hand and so on, everything has been done to speed up the game. Even to the situation where somebody's injured, you're supposed to take the person off the field and so on to keep the game going, keep the game flowing. And now suddenly you've got a situation where referees have been asked to adapt a yellow card and a red card situation. And it is so different to the other field sports in that the pitch is 60 or 70 metres longer. It's so much wider. The referee has such an amount of ground to cover. Now he has umpires at both ends, he has two linesmen, and if there's any transgression, they'll point it out to the referee. You don't need yellow cards, and you don't need red cards. And I think it's putting an added burden onto referees. And you also have a situation where even the people in the crowd are now called, did he get warned, did he get a yellow card? And it's nearly bringing about an anticipation that somebody should be sent off. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's wrong, because I think at the end of the day, the referee is the best person to judge that. And I'd like to think that, I know certainly I have faith in them. And there have been decisions that have gone against us, there have been decisions that have gone for us. But when you take the overall mix, if the referee gets it right 90% of the time, isn't he doing great? Isn't he doing brilliant?
In the All-Ireland hurling final a few weeks ago, Sean, the presentation of the Liam McCarthy was in the middle of Croke Park. Are you in favour or against that?
I think it's a joke. I think it's an insult. I think it's an absolute insult. When you see a situation, a platform is brought out, and there'll be a Land Rover or a tractor, whatever, it pulls it out. And are you telling me that people walking on the pitch will do more damage than that? Even the last day, I don't know who, at the end of the day, made the decision that it still had to go on in the middle of the field in the torrents of rain. Why, even at that stage, somebody wasn't able to say, no, look, wave that aside, present the cup, under the stand where people are going to be dry. See Mark Landers there with the cup, and the mils of rain down on top of him. Again, what are we trying to do? When you get a situation across in Slane, you have 80,000 people, at a concert, an open-air concert, a river behind the band, 80,000 people there, poor for toilet facilities. People are there all day, they're drinking all day, and there's not a problem. And people are telling me, or trying to say to me, that this is for safety reasons. In Hillsborough, the light of having the people were all killed. And I was watching the bloom. If those people could have got on the pitch, and there's nobody better than the stewards in Croke Park to allow the people on to the pitch. And if you had 5,000 or 6,000 people onto the field, then you would ease this terrible, people are now being carried in the little streets of Croke Park. They're being carried in a wave, and people are getting trampled on, and kids are getting hurt. They're far safer on the pitch. And again, it's part of this mingling thing. Like I had Kildare people last year, and I had Offaly people the year before come up and shake my hand and say, well, look at hard luck, lads, it's our day today. And that's nice. Do you know what I mean? I can tell you this was in all the years that I'm there. Nothing felt as empty as after we had won the Leinster title. And it was a huge occasion for us. Now you're going to have a situation where you're going to have maybe the Cork people on one side, Meath people on the far side. And if our team happen to win the All-Ireland and they go to the Cork crowd first, people say, they're trying to incense them. Or vice versa, the Cork crowd Cork win and they go to Meath. We don't need that. And I don't accept for one moment what the safety people say, that it is safer not to let the people on the pitch. No, we're trying to ape someone else, and that's not us. We shouldn't do it.
Sean Boylan may not be happy about the presentation ceremony, but I'm sure deep down he would accept the Sam Maguire any place in Croke Park this afternoon. Here in Dunshaughlin, the manager has been meeting up with his team since 9 o'clock this morning before they make their way with the players and some of the subs who might play in the All-Ireland final to Croke Park.
It's disappointing not to be starting, but I suppose as long as we win, that's the main thing, That's the important thing, as long as the result is right.
If required, though, Tommy Dowd might appear.
Time will tell. Hopefully they'll be playing well enough. We won't have to make an appearance. We'll have to wait and see.
everybody was in great form. We had a little bit of a get-together yesterday evening and everybody's in great form. Looking forward to the day.
Fullback Darren Fay and his colleagues appeared relaxed and quietly confident as they boarded the team coach to leave for Dublin at 10 o'clock. Meath were reporting no late injury worries and will complete a short warm-up at a pitch in the city after they leave their hotel en route to Croke Park. Graham Geraghty is captaining the county on what will be their 17th appearance in an All-Ireland final. Today, Meath are searching for their 7th All-Ireland success. And an enthusiastic group of well-wishers saw the team off. Comprehensive preparations have been made for victory celebrations in the Royal County tonight. But Sean Boylan and his team will have to focus first on the battle ahead on what will be the manager's 70th championship appearance in 17 years.
So Meath are on their way. Also, of course, this afternoon is the 50th anniversary of their success in the 1949 final. Martin Carney, they've won 6 titles. Sean Boylan has been there for 3 of them. He is such a factor in all of this.
Very much so, Michael, and he's there for 14 years as manager, so he certainly has superhuman qualities as far as I'm concerned. And he's such a gregarious and charismatic individual. Like, he has the same fanaticism, I'm sure, as Larry Tompkins, but maybe he's less single-dimensioned as such, to my mind. That's not belittling Larry in any way. But he has overseen kind of 2 or 3 teams now since the beginning of his tenure in 1982, and every one of his teams are motivated by him. They have great desire, they play with tremendous intensity, and all of that is coming from him. He's the soul and inspiration in that dressing room, and every Meath team that goes out is willing to die for him and die for Meath, and it's a credit to him that he's maintained his own enthusiasm over such a long period of time. And you'll see Meath today, like, you know, coming onto the field, he'll have transfused them with this ambition, with this desire, with this willingness to win, and it's a huge credit to him. And how he manages, you know, with a family, a very young family of 3 or 4 children, a very, very thriving business in the herbal, as a herbalist. It's just a remarkable tribute to the guy that he's still with the game.
Sean Boylan, Paul Early, has done it all from the sideline on the pitch, but of course Larry Tompkins was there as an inspiration as a player himself. And interestingly, in Larry's case, like so much of his battles have been against Meath, either as a Cork player or as a Kildare player before that.
That's right. That's right. Well, Larry has proven it as a player, and now obviously he wants to prove it as a manager. And it's interesting that this is Larry's 3rd year in the managerial hot seat, if you like. And last year he would have been heavily criticised for playing himself in the match against Kerry. And in other counties he might have been issued with his P45 at that stage. And it does prove that it takes some time. There's no doubt about that. It takes some time to bring a team, if you like, to their potential. And Larry has done it this year, is about to do it, and hopefully from his perspective today. But he's approached the managerial task in the same way, if you like, as he's approached his playing career. A single-mindedness, a determination. In the interview there he talked about loyalty and trust, and they're adjectives that describe, if you like, the epitome of what Larry is about. Loyalty and trust to his players when he was a player, and now to his, if you like, to his team. And he's adopted a youth policy over the last couple of years, and he's stuck with the players. And while they may have been criticised in the last couple of years for poor performances against Kerry, he persisted with that. And I think the players will certainly die for Larry today. But he's a superb tactician also, and I was very impressed with the way he approached the game against Mayo and the way he changed, if you like, the style of play, and also made some tactical switches in the semi-final against Mayo. He was prepared to take off his free taker, Podsy O'Mahony, who wasn't playing too badly in that game, and he put on a couple of other players and moved them around within 5 or 10 minutes when they weren't, if you like, doing what he had asked them to do. So he's prepared to do that and has done that very effectively in the championship to date. But obviously the jury's out on Larry until the outcome of today's game is determined, and you know, his players will certainly do everything similar to the Meath team for Sean Boylan and for Larry today.
After this break.
That's John Lynham. John, you actually played with Meath in 1954 right up to 1959.
Oh, I did, and played against Cork in a league final and lost it as well, just to remember my good times. Yes.
And what in God's name is a Meath man doing in West Cork today?
I got in before you had to have a visa about 30 years ago, and I've lived here since, apart from a few years in Dublin, and absolutely loving it, although I'm surrounded by the enemy here today, obviously, you know.
You're sporting Bantry Blues colours. I don't see you sporting Cork colours, though.
I'm a bit ambivalent on that situation because, you know, the Bantry Blues would be my club now, and Philip, of course, is the captain today, so I got to support them. I wouldn't quite go so far as to support Meath because it's a foregone conclusion, I think, before, you know.
Well, we'll wait and see. Mags Cotter, Mags from Bantry, you've made a hell of a journey to get to us here today, haven't you?
Yeah, I came home from Paris on Friday night.
And what are you doing there?
I'm working with France Telecom over there.
And you have a number of reasons to be celebrating on the double tonight. I believe you're absolutely determined to be celebrating on the double. Why is that?
Well, basically I've got the football, definitely going to be celebrating that, and my dad's 50th birthday then as well. A big Bantry Blues man.
So come what may, you will be celebrating tonight.
I'll definitely be celebrating the double, yeah.
Now, the last man here with me is Anthony O'Sullivan. Michael, there is a little bit of a story attached to Anthony O'Sullivan, let me tell you. Anthony O'Sullivan was playing football with Colosh de Gabon in Bantry about 13 years ago when he had an altercation with a certain physical education teacher, Pat Spillane, which left him with a broken collarbone. Unfortunately, we don't have time to get into that today. Anthony, briefly tell us what way the score is going to go and what way the game is going to go.
Well, I think the game will actually be won in midfield, but Cork will win by 2 points and guaranteed Philip Clifford to be top scorer and to win it, score the 2 winning points.
Not guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Okay, big cheer from Barry Murphy's Bar in Bantry. That's it.
And even as we speak, Pat Spillane is now going through the yellow pages and looking up senior counsels dealing in libel, but we will carry on here with Croke Park. 1974 was the year that the Dubs, of course, won a famous All-Ireland, beating Galway in that year's final, and that Dub team is the Jubilee team here today and about to be introduced to the crowd. Here they come.
Cork, on this day 25 years ago, Dublin recaptured the All-Ireland football title after a gap of 11 years, and a new era in football began for the county. At this stage of the afternoon, Commonwealth Glasgow and the Irish Nationwide Building Society wish to mark the silver jubilee of that Dublin triumph. So we'd ask you to welcome the players who won the 1974 championship. We start with the captain, Sean Doherty, who played as full-back.
Well, it's hard to credit, isn't it, that it's 25 years since this great Dublin team won
Paddy
the Sam
Cullen
Maguire.
was the goalkeeper.
And later on, of course, a very fine Dublin manager.
Keogh Driscoll was right full-back.
Looking as fresh as ever.
Robbie Kelleher filled the left full-back position.
As Robbie. Wonderful enthusiast.
Paddy Riley lined out in right half-back.
A real dashing half-back in his day.
Alan Larkin was the centre half-back.
There's Alan, who, of course, did a lot of coaching after he finished playing.
Georgie Wilson played on the left wing.
And he played with some dash, didn't he?
Brian Mullins was one of the midfielders.
That was a huge cheer for Brian Mullins, one of the greatest midfield players ever.
Stephen Rooney was the other midfielder.
His partner on that fateful day back in 1974.
Bobby Doyle occupied right half forward.
Great Bobby Doyle. Involved in Dublin teams
Tony
later on.
Ranahoe was the inspirational centre half.
Another man who managed Dublin, player manager at one stage.
David Hickey was the team's number 12.
As David. Wow. Interesting message from David.
Filled right, full forward.
And a Garda on duty here quite frequently at Croke Park. And there's Jimmy Keaveney, man who destroyed quite a number of defences in his day. And another wonderful attacking player.
Members of the panel were Dave Billings.
Dave Billings, one of the substitutes.
Brendan Pocock. Bernard Donovan.
All of them who played their parts during that fateful season.
Paddy Goverty.
Paddy taking the applause as well.
Leslie Deegan. Bernard Brogan.
And everybody remembers Bernard Brogan. Jim, who later on, of course, was selected with Dublin.
Finally, Fran Ryder.
And Fran, likewise, trained the Dublin team. Hard to think, really, that it is 25 years since all of these guys were out entertaining people in Croke Park. It was just, I suppose, the forerunner to the great Dublin-Kerry saga, although that particular year it was Dublin versus Galway. Hard to think in a year from now, the Jubilee team, I assume, will be that very young Kerry side of 1975. Can you picture Pat Spillane coming out here? No walking sticks, no Zimmer frames, all in good nick. But today it's the turn of Dublin from 1974. A wonderful team and a wonderful All-Ireland victory for them. Tony Hanahoe moving through the picture there. Jimmy Keaveney as well. Some of the great stars of 25 years ago.
And the great Jimmy Keaveney looking even better and fitter today than he was 25 years ago. Yes, what a day that was. I was here at Croke Park. Of course, it was Heppo's army, and the Jacks are back, and the Galway backs are jacked, as Micheál O'Hare put it towards the end of the match. Jim Carney was here that day as well, but today he's out on Jones Road with some of the supporters in this year's All-Ireland final.
Jones's Road is where the All-Ireland atmosphere really is this afternoon, but it would be the loneliest place in the world if you walk down here without a ticket. However, we've met some friends here who have tickets. Pascal, tell me how you got yours.
Well, I've got 2 tickets from our local pub, St Michael's, just outside Kells in County Meath. I got one from a friend in RD, County Louth, and another from a friend in Mayo. So that has filled up the family.
So you were on the phone all week?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Eamon here from Cork. Let's see where the tickets went in Cork and how you managed to get them, because they must have been like winning lotto tickets down there.
I got one from through the school. I'm teaching at school, so I'm just lucky I got one this morning. I made a friend up here and he had one from me.
And I'm sure you knew plenty of people who didn't have tickets.
Oh, loads of them, yeah, loads.
You're the most interesting person I've met today, because you have tickets here to send your family all over the ground. Tell me about it.
Tickets to every stand. I'm going to the Hogan stand. I got them by writing to Cork County Board. So myself and my daughter Deirdre are going to the Hogan. My husband is in the Canal End, and he got them from his local club, Brian Dillon's GA club, in the north side of Cork City. And my daughter is in the Hill. I got 2 Hill 16 from a man from Down. Well, my mother actually, Eileen Sexton, got them about a half an hour ago in Mars pub. So we're all fixed up.
That's what you call a family day out.
Yeah.
And what about the man who went to the stool races, didn't back a winner but got a ticket?
Yeah, we got 2 tickets in the store. My friends in the store. We can get winners, but we got the tickets. So that means that.
So if it's Meath against Kerry next year, you'll have to cheer for Kerry.
We'll send them down. So.
And finally, who's going to win today?
Oh, Meath are going to win.
Well, those All-Ireland tickets will be no good to anybody tomorrow morning, but they are a very precious commodity just right now and have been for the last couple of hours, couple of days and couple of weeks. The Cork team are due out in a minute's time onto the pitch. They will be followed out 3 or 4 minutes later by Meath. And as we wait for that Cork team to arrive, and their supporters, of course, who will greet them, Martin Carney, who's going to win the All-Ireland?
Well, you have the 2 best teams contesting the All-Ireland final. I don't think it'll be a great spectacle, Michael, but it'll be a game that won't lack in intensity, and it won't lack in passion. And I think if it's a tight game, if it comes down to a scrap, you know, and a crowded game, I think Meath will win it. Cork will have to open out the game and try and run at the Meath defence, get the ball in quickly and run at the Meath defence and maybe draw frees. And if they can keep the game open, I think they can win it. But it'll all come down at the end of the day to whether or not McDermott can exert the influence on midfield as he has done in the past. If he does that, I go with Meath.
Funnily enough, Paul, early, everybody expected the hurling final to be a classic, and it was a dour affair, and everybody's expecting this one to be a dour affair, so it could actually be a turnaround scenario.
And I think it might just be that. I think it'll be a very tight game. Obviously, both defences are very, very strong, and there won't be an inch given to the forwards on both teams. But, you know, I'm looking forward to the key contest, and before the game, Larry and Sean Boylan will have obviously planned to deal with the key players, how they're going to deal with the key players. And, you know, our expectation is that, you know, the full forward line, the Meath full forward line, that maybe the Cork full back line will mark them differently. McCarthy might go on to Geraghty, for example, or go on to Ollie Murphy, and Sean O'Halpine into the corner. The questions are, how is Trevor Giles going to be marked today? How are they going to handle John McDermott? Are they going to play a runner on him? Are they going to break the ball away from him? These are all intriguing questions that are going to be answered within the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game. But I think at the end of the day, I've fancied Meath all year. I think they have a purpose about them this year that maybe in 1996 Mayo lost that final, and maybe that's playing on their mind. They didn't win that final.
Right.
Mayo lost it. They want to win it in their own right. You know, they've tactically, I think, done very well to date. In their 3 games to date, or their 4 games to date, they have changed their tactics, varied their tactics to suit individual teams. They've kicked the long ball the first day to the full forward line against Wicklow. The second day then they brought in Ollie Murphy, playing the ball up the channels, up the wings, and they had the Ollie Murphy show part 1. And the same thing again in the Leinster final, they had Ollie Murphy again using the wings and exposing the Dublin defence. And I think Meath have that directness about them. John McDermott, when he wins the ball in the middle of the field, will kick it long into the full forward line. Their forwards expect that, and I think if they can get the ball quickly into the danger area in front of goal, Cork could be under pressure, and I think Meath are going to win a point or 2, but it'll be very, very close.
Martin.
Yeah, one other point I think, Michael, both teams have found inspiration in the second half, and they have found inspiration also with their substitutions. And Cork have introduced Fionn Murray in the last 2 games, and he's scored goals in both games. And one of the downsides about Cork, even if Cork get in front, they'll always leave the door open for Meath to get back at them. They haven't got this capacity to put teams away to the extent that they should. And I would say that'll give Meath confidence even as the game goes on, if Cork are that little bit in front of them. The other thing about Meath, it'll be interesting to see whether they'll come in with Tommy Dowd, whether they believe he's match fit enough. I know he's played 2 challenge matches over the last couple of weekends, and it'll be interesting to see if he does come on, what his state of fitness is and what impact, if any, he can make on the game. But again, the key duel in the back line between Anthony Lynch, I predict, and Ollie Murphy, that's going to be crucial to the outcome of the game, as will whether or not Graham Geraghty can exert the same influence on games as he did, for example, earlier against Offaly this summer. But all told, I come back to the old cliche thing again. I believe it's all going to centre on midfield. If the 2 boys, Micheál O'Sullivan and Nicholas Murphy, can in some way negative John McDermott, OK, Cork are in there with a shout.
Well, they're in there with a shout, and the shout is going to happen now for Cork, because Philip Clifford is about to lead the Cork football team out onto the pitch at Croke Park for the All-Ireland football final of 1999. And so then the flags wave on Hill 16, and those familiar flags, the Ferrari flag is there, the Confederation flag, the Rising Sun flag of Japan, they're all there. Sean O'Halpine is there, Martin.
Yes.
He can write himself into the history books today as one of the few Cork players, or players from any county for that matter, to win hurling and football All-Ireland, but not necessarily at full back, a lot of people might have thought.
Well, that's for sure, and with Mickey Donovan back in the panel, I thought Mickey Donovan might have been recalled, and in the last 2 games Sean Oak has been somewhat kind of embarrassed by the display of James Horn on him. And you know, if you go back to the National League final this year when Desi Farrell kind of made life difficult for him, and even in the Munster final, O'Garrell scored 2 goals on him. But O'Halpine's there, and I think myself he'll be relaxing so far as that he has All-Ireland medal in his pocket. And you know, there's been so much negative comment made about him over the last couple of weeks, and doubts cast about whether he should be on the team or not. Like, the motivation is hugely strong there for him to come up with a major game. And again, you know, the confidence has to be high, the morale has to be great, having won an All-Ireland hurling. So, okay, he's going to cast it all back at his doubters today, and I would expect him to come up with a good display.
Well, there's a gentleman we saw 2 weeks ago here in Croke Park, and that very familiar hat, and there he is, and he knows he's on camera because he can see himself on the big screen up here over Hill 16. Paul Early, he can't do anything for Cork today except cheer. But Don Davis can do something for them, and Don Davis has played such good football since, I suppose, he came back, if you like, into the Cork setup.
Absolutely, and I suppose everybody expects today that Don Davis is going to play a roving role, start at full forward, move out the field. But maybe Larry will be unpredictable, and maybe Larry will put him at the edge of the square today for the first 10 minutes and throw the Meath defence out of kilter. But Don was hugely influential in this, against Mayo in the second half, where he ran hard at the defence, and that's what Cork will have to do today. Both Don Davis, Joe Kavanagh, Michael Cronin, Hodgie O'Mahony will have to run hard at the Meath defence, and I think if they do that, they can be successful.
And now the cheer is up for the men from Meath, who are back in the All-Ireland final once again this year and looking for another All-Ireland success.
Thank you very much indeed, Michael. And what wonderful colour and what a wonderful welcome both teams have been given by the capacity crowd at Croke Park this afternoon. 62,000 people or thereabouts are fortunate enough to be present. There's Darren Fay and Graham Geraghty alongside him. Graham, of course, who is the captain of the team this year from Centralstown, and the various subs are there as well to have the photograph recorded on such a momentous day such as this. The Bank of Ireland football final, a rivalry which began 32 years ago really between Meath and Cork, and that rivalry which became intense and heated during the 1987-90 period. But the players today are fresh from all previous encounters. I suppose history is unavoidable, but today offers a fresh challenge for two counties with 6 All-Ireland titles each, who will take the 7th into the 21st century. That we should know by about 5 o'clock this afternoon, at what is a perfect day for Gaelic football. So let's take a check on the two teams. No changes in Meath, but 5 of them are facing Cork for the second time in an All-Ireland final. Last time it was at minor level in 1993, backed by an outstanding full backline of Mark O'Reilly, Darren Fay and Cormac Murphy. The inspiring John McDermott is expected to be at his most influential in midfield, while in the forwards, Ollie Murphy's injury in the semi-final was not as serious as first thought, while Trevor Giles and Graham Geraghty are set to give the leadership up front. 10 of this team played in the 1996 final against Mayo. John Bruton, one of their most loyal supporters, of course. Former Taoiseach Mary Harney, the Taoiseach, just in front there of John Bruton. Charlie McCreevy there just in behind. And John O'Donoghue, the Justice Minister there, all part of the people in the...
Bishop Smith from Meath.
And I'm also, after noting, Bishop Smith there from Meath, who is a great supporter of Gaelic games, and in particular this Meath team. Now Cork, no changes in this Cork side from the semi-final win over Mayo, and only 3 of them have played in an All-Ireland senior final previously. The backline has been widely praised for a series of consistent displays. Kieran O'Sullivan played here in the final 6 years ago, while in the forwards, Joe Kavanagh and Don Davis also experienced All-Ireland final defeat against Derry, although both were involved in the game's first goal, and that was scored after just 5 minutes by the number 11, Joe Kavanagh. And let's go down towards the tunnel area to the man who will be reporting from the sideline this afternoon, and that of course is Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Ger. Well, we've seen the reaction to the Cork and Meath players. Their dreams have almost been fulfilled. One man who has yet to see Croke Park, he's down here outside the dressing room, is Alan O'Regan, who was in a horrific car crash just about 4 weeks ago. Tell us exactly what happened, Alan.
Well, to be honest, I don't know what happened, but all I know is that I'm lucky to be here with the lads and everything, and I mean, I hope everything works out for them. I think it will, because I mean, they're confident, they're relaxed, and they're young and fit, and fitness won't be a problem with them, you know.
Certainly for you personally, though, it must be heartbreaking not to be able to be part of the Cork panel today.
It is big time, you know, but I suppose I have to look at the bigger picture, and hopefully Cork will do the same today, you know, take the knocks, get on with it, and at the end of the day, they'll be victorious.
Now, you've got many injuries, including a broken ankle.
Yeah, ankle, collarbone, internal injuries, but I mean, I'm out of hospital, you know, I'm on the road to recovery. Unfortunately, the fellow who was involved with me is still in hospital, so I just want to wish him a speedy recovery, and I hope that he's out soon as well, you know.
Well, we're delighted to see you well. That's the most important thing, and I'm sure you'll be back in the Cork jersey this time next year.
I hope so, as our Ireland champions, hopefully.
Well done, Alan O'Regan. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Martin.
Yes, it is a tragedy for Alan O'Regan, but he was quoted during the week as saying there's more to life than football. In that horrific car crash which happened on the Cork to Mallow Road some time ago, he apparently lost about half the blood in his body. Such were the severity of the injuries. Well, he's an absentee, and this is another man who is missing at least the start of the game, Tommy Dowd. And I've got Colm O'Rourke here alongside me. What chances realistically has Tommy got of playing, Colm?
Well, Ger, I don't know whether Lazarus ever played Gaelic football at county level, but if Tommy Dowd is
He was wearing the number 4. Did he come fourth?
Yes. Well, if Tommy Dowd is able to come on today, I think it'll be akin to what Lazarus has done. He hasn't played football of any seriousness for 3 months, a back operation, but the competitive streak in Tommy is such that he's got back out and trained. He's played 2 club matches with Dunderry in the last couple of weeks, and he's fighting very hard to get a place among the 6. But I think Meath might be in trouble before the turn to Tommy today, but he would be a huge inspiration to the crowd if he was able to come on.
Thanks indeed, Colin, for that. And now the players are coming across towards the presentation area. The red carpet, of course, laid out. The referee and his linesmen are there already. John McDermott will be the Irish captain in Australia for that tour, which is coming up in just about a week's time. Ireland versus Australia, 2 test matches coming up in Melbourne and Adelaide. So the Cork team on the left-hand side. And then Graham Geraghty going up to take his position as captain. He'll be introducing the Meath men, the Rebels against the Royals once again. It's a pairing which hasn't produced very many goals over the years, just 3. President Mary McAleese and her husband Martin, who must have been absolutely delighted with the down victory in the minor match, as Martin in the background. Joe McDonagh, Oakdron, Common Lou Class Goyle as well. So the president comes across now to be introduced, first of all, to the Cork men. And their captain is 20-year-old Philip Clifford. Huge day for Philip Clifford. He's had a wonderful season so far, lifting the National League Cup, lifting the Munster Cup as well, and hoping it'll be 3 in a row. Kevin O'Dwyer, of course, the goalkeeper. Ronan McCarthy, there's Sean O'Go-Halfine in the middle there. Sean hoping to be just the 2nd man ever in the history of the GAA to win hurling and football medals in the one season. Michael Curley from Galway, first time to handle an All-Ireland senior final. Pat McEnany is the other man there. He was in charge in 1996. And of course, before moving into the Oris a couple of years ago, Mary McAleese used to live in Meath. So she'll have a big interest in today's match.
Certainly will, Gerard. I'd expect that she'll be entirely neutral in favour of Meath, going for a Meath down double, I suppose.
Nigel Nesta there, Trevor Giles as well, and Donald Curtis. Evan Kelly. This is Ollie Murphy. Graham, of course, himself will be at full forward.
We have Trevor Giles in the new style jersey there. I think he has picked up a couple of fines for Meath for wearing a jersey without sleeves.
I just thought he was trying to give you a little nudge in his direction for the team going to Aussie land. But of course he is in your panel.
He is in the panel and he'll be an important member of that panel. We depart next Saturday, and I suppose from my point of view, I just hope it's not a draw, because we have 6 lads playing today who are all off to Australia. We're playing Australia on Friday week in Melbourne.
Yeah, don't mention the war. We're hoping for a result today, as they say. And that's that jersey without the sleeves. He favours it. He's been using it in the last couple of matches. And so the team's parade behind their captains, Graham Geraghty of Meath and Philip Clifford from Bantry Blues. The Canal End still taking shape. A wonderful atmosphere here at Croke Park. A match which is being viewed all over the globe. And among those watching abroad today are Maeve Kiley and Kevin Hayes in the Cayman Islands. Michael J. O'Keefe from Knocknagree in Sacramento. And lots of people everywhere and anywhere, like Eamon Lyons of the Blarney in Philadelphia. And I know that Frank Campbell and Cheryl married yesterday in New York, and they've got into a pub somewhere today to be sure that they can see what's taking place. Also, I want to mention Garda James Kelly in Bosnia. But I can tell you we had about 400 or 500 letters into all kinds of offices this week with mentions, and sadly it's impossible to include everybody. But wherever you're watching it, hope you enjoy it today. It's Meath's 8th All-Ireland final appearance under Sean Boylan. And just let's have a chat about the tactics here, because we've seen in the past how the half-forward line is often sucked into midfield, and the corner forwards then are allowed a little bit of room inside. There's plenty of space. Very often they play with just 2 inside forwards, Graham Geraghty, Ollie Murphy. Will there be a temptation today to maybe put 3 against 3?
No, I don't think so. I think Meath will play 2 up, Ollie Murphy and Graham Geraghty. I still think there's a bit of a doubt about Ollie Murphy's knee. He hasn't been going that well in training from what I have seen of it. I think he's feeling it a little bit still, and Meath need him badly. I think Cork probably will send Sean Ogo Halpine after Evan Kelly if Evan Kelly goes out the pitch. And on the Meath side, I would expect that Darren Fay and Mark O'Reilly will stay inside, and that Cormac Murphy may follow Don Davis if he goes out the pitch. But Meath don't want to get caught again with Darren Fay out the field, away from his full-back position, as they did against Armagh.
Well, already he's got a hurling medal to his credit. A very, very pleasant young man. He's just after qualifying. And that's his mother in there, his sister's there as well, his mother Emily, and his dad is there also. They see themselves on the big screen. So give us a wave, ladies. There you are, the huge screen above Hill 16, conveying the pictures, creating part of the atmosphere. Not that there's much need to create, just look at that sea of colour up on Hill 16. It doesn't belong to any one team. A mixture of the green and gold of Meath, the red and white of Cork.
I think that's just the great thing about this All-Ireland, to see Hill 16 like that, with the crowd mingling among themselves. Great rivalry between Cork and Meath, of course. Fairly tough and hard over the years, but it's great to see the spectators mingling together and enjoying the occasion.
And I think it's fair to say also that both counties have the height of respect for one another.
No doubt about that. I think today's game, though, may be more open than games in the past. The ground is slightly slippery. We had a shower of rain here out of a blue sky, which was amazing in the minor game. There's a slight wind blowing towards the railway goal. It's not very much. I expect Meath to do as usual, that if they win the toss, they have won the toss. They have won the toss, yeah. And I expect they'll be playing towards the canal goal, because Meath normally do that, play against the wind in the first half, hope to have the wind behind them to finish.
It seems to be a trait always to play into that canal goal. I remember a certain goal by Meath against Dublin. A certain big, tall, lanky guy came in on John O'Leary. First minute of the match.
Yes, well, John must have got blinded by the sun that day, I think, and he allowed the ball to pass harmlessly in, but I claimed the goal anyway, but it wasn't usual for me to score a goal. So
we'll mention of goals, there have only been 3 goals in All-Ireland finals ever between Meath and Cork. Terry Kearns got one in 1967. In 1987, you fell on the ball, I think, did you, and it went in off your shin? And then there was Teddy McCarthy. He's the only Cork man to score a goal against Meath.
Well, it's interesting. The goal I got in 87 was a goal-mouth scramble, and I managed to get my fist to the ball in just a complete ruck of players in there. It ends up in the corner.
It got goal of the year, didn't it?
And I think Teddy McCarthy's in 88. He kicked it through Mickey McQuillan's legs who was coming out. So most of the goals that have been scored have been of the sort of freak variety.
Well, that's just by the way. The real action begins in just a couple of moments from now. The anthem will be sung by Paul Hennessy, accompanied by the Artane Boys Band, and Paul tells me his sister, Anria, is in hospital at the moment, and he wants to wish her well. Cork line up on the 45-metre line, all together. Meath are going into their various lines, full back line up to full forward line.
Will now be played by the Artane Boys Band and will be sung by Mr. Paul Hennessy. Aurora Nabil.
What a cheer. So the fans take their seats. That's on the new Cusack. The Nally over there, the Hogan stand, the band making its way off. It is Meath who will play from left to right against a very, very light breeze. Beautiful sunshine. Couple of switches in the Meath forward line already. Michael Curley from Galway about to start.
Those switches are the same as Meath have made in every game. Evan Kelly out to right half forward, Ollie Murphy switching corners, Donald Curtis at left corner, he'll come out the pitch, Nigel Nestor at left half forward.
So the start of the 112th All-Ireland football final, and Meath going into their first attack. This is back out here once again towards John McDermott, looking for a bit of assistance, getting it as well. Meath comes storming through there. Very good burst forward that time, and it results in a first free in. Good work by Nigel Crawford, the midfielder. That's Anthony Lynch. So it'll be Trevor Giles who will hit this first free of the All-Ireland football final. 35 to 38 metres out. There's the angle that confronts him. It's hit, but it's hit to the left-hand side, and it's the first wide of the match, and a puzzled look on the face of Trevor Giles. Well, he'll be hoping to get his first score as quickly as possible. Kevin O'Dwyer kicking short this time, fumbled by Kieran O'Sullivan. Pushing up that time was Nigel Nestor. Trevor Giles once again thought about the hand pass. Fouled. The foul is by Micheál O'Sullivan. Free quickly taken towards Ollie Murphy. Anthony Lynch is doing the marking job. Murphy, right knee very heavily strapped. Good ball inside. Kelly fisting it and fisting it over the bar. Evan Kelly. That first score has taken under 2 minutes. Very good use of the fist by Evan Kelly, coming in from the right half forward position. But lovely combined play and a delightful pass out as far as Ollie Murphy to set all of that up. Micheál O'Sullivan lets it spill in through his hands. Micheál O'Croneen was the man who was dragged down that time by Hank Traynor. Cork at the free kick. Micheál O'Sullivan taking it. Huge one down towards Mark O'Sullivan. And he's been marked this afternoon by Mark O'Reilly. He's looking for a really big game. Played really well here in the league quarter-final, but since then his season hasn't really taken off in a big way.
The kickouts too are interesting. Kevin O'Dwyer has had 2 kickouts. He's trying to keep the ball away from John McDermott in the middle of the field. Cormac O'Sullivan for Meath will obviously be trying to hit McDermott with each kick-out.
And here is the first one. McDermott racing across towards it, but it's Micheál O'Croneen from Nevabawn, and Ballyvourney takes it down. Not cleanly away, however. This is Enda McManus. Good use of the pass. Nicely forward by Hank Traynor. Inside towards Ollie Murphy. Good chest control here by Murphy. Trying to get away from Lynch. And even though he was off balance, he still managed to swing the leg to it. But he's put it again to the left. And another wide for Meath. Well, they have the only point of the match so far. And he's limping. And that is ominous. Maybe he can run it off. But certainly an injury here also to Anthony Lynch. He's got the onerous task this afternoon of marking Ollie Murphy. Sean O'Halpine, by the way, has started at full-back, even though there was speculation in all the papers that he might switch with Ronan McCarthy. But it's O'Halpine against Graham Geraghty. And Murphy is okay.
Yes, so there's no doubt about it that Ollie Murphy is limping on that right leg, and it was interesting, the first ball he got, he wouldn't take on his man the way he normally would, so he's obviously not able to jink off it.
This is one here by Podsy O'Mahony. Podsy has options inside. Don Davis starting at full forward, even though you expect him to roam around a bit. This is Philip Clifford, the team captain. Players feeling ahead of him. One of them was Micheál O'Croneen. Still Clifford, the boundary man, feeding it into Podsy O'Mahony, looking for an equaliser, looking for something here, and he's put it across the face of goal, and Mark O'Sullivan couldn't contain it. Still there, Joe Kavanagh. Good block down here. This is won here beautifully. Evan Kelly driving at a good 40 metres. Ollie Murphy goes to ground once again. It's Graham Geraghty there. A nudge into the back, however, by Owen Sexton. Free to Meath. And once again, the free is being entrusted to Trevor Giles. And his Cork marker, who is Owen Sexton from Kilbrittain. Slow to retreat the requisite distance. So Trevor Giles playing in his 26th championship match. Scored a total of 110 rather, in the 2 All-Ireland finals back in 1996. Looking for the first of the day, and that's a beautifully struck kick. And that's over the bar. So Trevor Giles converts his second free. Meath have a second point. And it's Meath's 2 points. Cork no score. Quickly outside here towards Martin Cronin. This is O'Halpine. Going short this time. Kieran O'Sullivan trying to get away. Gets the free. Punting this one down in over the full back line, but Mark O'Reilly has read it brilliantly. Mark O'Sullivan a bit slow to react. It's O'Reilly against O'Sullivan trying to dispossess him. O'Reilly regaining his composure. Here's Enda McManus, centre half back. Up towards Donald Curtis, being marked there by Ronan McCarthy, beautifully taken by the Cork number 2. Struggling to get that ball away, however, getting assistance from Sean O'Halpine. Here's Sexton. Down towards the attack. Philip Clifford unable to hold on to it. It's Mark O'Reilly who is held back there, and it's Mark O'Reilly who wins a free for Meath. He started very prominently in the Meath full back line, covering well. John McDermott. Donald Curtis slipped. Easy one in the end for Ronan McCarthy. Having difficulty getting it away, however. They're playing it very, very short. And getting themselves into trouble, and in the end, it's Martin Cronin who slides in on Evan Kelly and concedes the free kick. Meath have made the better start to this match. Poor kick, however. Good reaction here by Sean O'Halpine. Here's Joe Kavanagh. Can be a huge influence. Towards Philip Clifford. And bundled away by Cormac Murphy. Good to see Cormac Murphy back in the Meath team this year. He's had a lot of injury problems. This is Clifford. Inside beyond Podsy O'Mahony. Cork's game plan hasn't started working yet. And Larry Tompkins looks a bit concerned. Larry, who won All-Ireland medals, of course, in 1989 and 1990. Captaining Cork that day against Meath. Again, the kick out from Cormac O'Sullivan directed towards John McDermott. Hank Traynor now picking up the pieces. Again, it's O'Halpine has started well against Graham Geraghty. He's getting out to the ball first time. Difficult one to take. Cork do well. That's Podsy O'Mahony getting it out. Support here once again from Micheál O'Croneen. Farron Whalefort. Here's Philip Clifford. Trying to go by Cormac Murphy. Philip Clifford succeeds. This is Clifford looking to try and put Cork's first point on the board, but the final shot a bit wayward. But at least it's interesting, he's prepared to take it at defenders. Well, he's
Philip Clifford is running it, but Cork are having great trouble getting the ball out of defence. It suits me perfectly if Cork persist with that short passing style in defence. No better team in the country to cut down on backs, trying to come out with the ball with those short passes.
An 8th All-Ireland final today for Sean Boylan. That's fisted back down there by Micheál O'Sullivan. Here's Don Davis. Taking it by Darren Fay. The fist inside towards Clifford. A chance here perhaps. And finally that ball has gone to the left. Just what it seemed. He had to get the first point for Cork this afternoon. But the fans on the hill who are supporting Cork still encouraging him to take it past the defender time and again.
Well, a great opportunity for Cork there. Philip Clifford should have put it across to Mark O'Sullivan, totally free in front of the goals, but the problem was caused there. Don Davis is coming out from full forward, and at the moment Darren Fay is not following him, and that's where the problem for Meath started there.
Well, that kick out has gone right over the sideline, and the mistake may be punished by Cork. John McDermott goes sliding in. Podsy O'Mahony is there as well. Comes back out once again. Joe Kavanagh down towards Mark O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan getting away this time from Mark O'Reilly, and this time his kick is a good one, and Mark O'Sullivan has put the ball over the bar. Cork get a point. It's taken them 10 minutes. Well, that'll do O'Sullivan's confidence a great deal of good, because it's now 2 points to 1. It was a lovely ball fed into him, just in front of him, and he had the speed to get away from the marker. Credit that to Joe Kavanagh. Lovely ball. Good work here by O'Sullivan to take him away from the Meath covering. Again, a very curious kick out by Cormac Sullivan. Enda McManus, and this time he's put it out over the sideline. Already an early injury there to Anthony Lynch. He was treated for that a little while ago. This is Martin Cronin, the Nemo Rangers man. Mark O'Reilly standing back well, bouncing it down, taking command of the situation. Martin Cronin getting out ahead of Evan Kelly. This is Nicholas Murphy. Martin Cronin, beautifully taken by Clifford once again. Nicely back towards Podsy O'Mahony, and Podsy has the chance, and he has spurned the opportunity. That was a really good chance for Podsy O'Mahony to get his first point of the day, but no joy for him. Kicked 4 points in the Munster final and 3 in the All-Ireland semi-final. Well, Meath so far have a total of 2 wides, but Cork with a total of 5. Listed down by Murphy once again. Enda McManus getting on his hands and knees, but it's won back again by Cork, and Podsy O'Mahony. Don Davis is out to his right-hand side. Cork with just a 2-man inside forward line. Joe Kavanagh. A real hit and hope one. Sun in the goalkeeper's eyes, and he does really well. That wasn't easy. With Mark O'Sullivan coming in on top of him, he held control of the football, and Meath break away once more. John McDermott, bad pass. Donald Curtis claiming it and saying it went off Owen Sexton. It's Meath's sideline ball. Donald Curtis there, who works in the Navan golf course, ensuring that the greens and the fairways are in excellent condition. This is Trevor Giles. Oh, a real ambitious one that. Intended for Enda McManus, but instead it was Micheál O'Croneen who picked it up. Here's Hank Traynor. Back once again here. Ollie Murphy's come away from the goal on the 45-metre line, in fact. That's in towards Evan Kelly. Graham Geraghty's there as well. But so too is the Cork half-back, Martin Cronin. Fouled and a free out. Referee in no doubt. Very quickly taken free. Nigel Crawford was coming onto it. Instead it spills loose to Owen Sexton. Sexton eventually knocked to the ground by John McDermott. Nothing terribly malicious. Referee uses a quiet word and he's noted the number of John McDermott. Joe Kavanagh's free kick down to Mark O'Sullivan. And this time it's Darren Fay who was dragged back. The foul by Don Davis. Well, rated the best full-back in the business right now. There's Mark O'Sullivan, the scorer of Cork's only point so far. And as most people expected, a pretty tight situation between these teams. Nicholas Murphy was going back, almost getting in the way of Owen Sexton. Cork get it back as far as Don Davis. Micheál O'Sullivan pushing up from midfield. Transferred to Micheál O'Croneen. Don Davis taking it once again. This is Joe Kavanagh. 5 Meath players around him, and he still manages to get the latitude to boot it over the bar and get the equaliser. So Joe Kavanagh, who got the opening goal of the 1993 All-Ireland final, Cork against Derry, gets the second point here. So the teams are level. Joe recovering, or trying to recover from the injury, and it's Cork 2, Meath 2. Well, so far in this match, Joe Kavanagh has certainly been delivering. That was a superbly taken point, but his passing has been so astute as well.
Yes, Cork will try to get the ball to Kavanagh, because if he doesn't score himself, he's a brilliant player to set up others for scores. Meath have a bit of a problem here with Don Davis coming out the pitch and getting a loose ball, and Darren Fay staying behind.
Well, this is the dilemma they face, of course. You take Darren Fay away from in front of the goal area where he's at his very best, or does he go out and follow Don Davis? Enda McManus is following Davis right now, but following the ball is Kieran O'Sullivan. Free to Cork. This is Nicholas Murphy. John McDermott touching the ball on the ground, and it's got to be a free in for Cork. Free from about 50 metres out. Don wanted to take it quickly. In fact, at the end, it's Miholo Tonino takes it. He's put it over the sideline. Well, we've seen that happen a couple of times so far in the match. Something which players of this calibre ordinarily wouldn't do, and I think it's just down to the pressure of the occasion.
Well, with 15 minutes gone, Cork have had the better of things and should be a couple of points in front, with the poor shooting has let Meath off the hook to an extent.
Nigel Lester fist to that one on. This is Ronan McCarthy picking out Mihol O'Sullivan. Nicholas Murphy. Big test of the Cork midfield duo, how they will do against John McDermott in particular, and also, of course, Nigel Crawford. Philip Clifford appealing, and the appeals work because the linesman across there, Brendan Gorman from Armagh, has given the kick. In fact, it's Pat McEnany's on that far side, and he's given the kick Cork's way.
Must be a bit of a problem down that side of the pitch with the sun. I see a lot of players with their hands up to their eyes trying to see where the ball is coming from.
Cork goes short to Don Davis. Nice turn. Enda McManus, however, stayed with him the whole time. This time trying to pick out Donald Curtis, but again a wayward pass. And absolutely nothing the Rathkenny player could do about it. And Larry Tompkins up and down the sideline the whole time, urging his men on. Kicked in by Joe Kavanagh. It was intended for Philip Clifford. Instead it's won back by Meath once again. John McDermott way back in his own full back line towards Graham Geraghty. Cork there in numbers, however, on the 65-metre line. That's Mihol O'Sullivan from Carbery Rangers. Cork get the decision. And it'll be the other O'Sullivan, Kieran O'Sullivan, who takes this. Inside towards Don Davis. Little solo hop. Kieran O'Sullivan once more. Fancying his chances, but where does it end up? It ends up to the right of the upright. So now 6 wides kicked by Cork. A lot of opportunities gone a-begging. And the very slight breeze, this really is a very, very slight breeze. It's favouring Cork for the opening 35 minutes. If anything, a greater hazard today is the sun in the goalkeeper's eyes down there. Great catch. John McDermott there. That was wonderful. Trevor Giles wanted to take the free kick quickly, but his marker was too close to him. This is for Ollie Murphy. They tried to pick out this danger man. Anthony Lynch trying to curb his threat. Nice little solo by Ollie Murphy. Good block down by Lynch. That's one of his trademarks. To Ronan McCarthy. Ronan is held by Donald Curtis. Free out to Cork. It's taken quickly. Here's Mihol O'Sullivan. Down towards Mark O'Sullivan. Spills beyond him. Here's Darren Fay. Picking out John McDermott once again. They have a very good understanding. Nicely to the centre to Nigel Crawford. McDermott again towards Trevor Giles. Booted in the general direction of Graham Geraghty. Down it breaks to Ollie Murphy, and here's a chance. It was a good scoring chance of that, and he's missed it. 3 wides for Meath. Well, that was a pretty good scoring opportunity. This was McDermott's catch, and the first thought that went through my mind, Australian rules magic.
Yes, and I suppose great block there by Anthony Lynch was in trouble. You'd wonder about Ollie Murphy. Is he as sharp as normal? That sort of a chance he usually would take with ease.
Well, a great block, a missed opportunity by Murphy, and a great catch by John McDermott, all in the last piece of action. That's fisted down this time to Martin Cronin. 3 Meath men confronting him. Kieran O'Sullivan getting it out to Micheál O'Sullivan. Pretty good sound effects in the background. That's McDermott. He's fouled after he kicked the ball away by Philip Clifford, and it means now it's a free from where the ball lands, which is about 45 metres out from the Cork goal. Well, that error on the part of Clifford may well be penalised. It's on the 45-metre line, but a bit more from the goal than 45 metres because of the angle. Inside nicely here towards Nigel Nestor. Not usually noted as a scorer, and he's lost it in any case. Cork have it back. Here's O'Halpine. Out to Micheál O'Sullivan, man of the match in the Munster final win. This is Mark O'Sullivan again, losing out to Mark O'Reilly, and O'Reilly is so good and so quick at adjusting his footing. Very rarely beaten for pace, and likewise John McDermott, who's a real inspiration in their midfield.
Well, in that situation, the Cork forwards weren't showing out in front of their men for the ball. Again, it's easy to hide in behind, but Mark O'Sullivan will have to try and get out in front of Mark Riley if he's going to get any possession.
Don Davis, by the way, has gone back in towards the orthodox full-back position just for now, and as I speak, he's drifted out once more, and Darren Fay has followed him. This is one back here by Nigel Crawford. Nigel is now studying law and business studies at UCD. Anthony Lynch appreciating the difficulty, came off the little flag, but it's outside the playing area as it comes back once again, and it's booted by Donald Curtis, and it's put over the bar. Straight from the sideline kick, Curtis kicks it over. Well, he's a kind of play anywhere fellow, and it's 3 points to 2. This is Micheál O'Croneen. And again the pass going out over the sideline, and Meath get it back. Let's go to the sideline and to Marty Morrissey.
Indeed, from a tactical point of view, Larry Tompkins has been concerned about the attacking ploys failing so far, has told Mark O'Sullivan to adopt a more traditional full-forward position as Don Davis does the tour around Croke Park. And I can also tell you that Larry Tompkins is possibly going to make a change in his attack in the next 5 minutes or so.
Well, that's interesting. Let's see what develops as Cork get it back with Micheál O'Croneen and Sean O'Halpine belting it in there towards Mark O'Sullivan, who, as you say, has gone back in towards the more usual number 14 position. This is Hank Traynor. And that's possession for Meath. Sean Boylan in the background there. Lots of advice coming the players' way. Turbo Giles hitting it towards McDermott. And it spills away from his grasp, and Cork will have possession. Good work there by Cork's number 9, Micheál O'Sullivan. Ready to take the sideline kick himself. And of course, we've had a lot of rain here in the Dublin area over the past week, so the ground is a little bit slippy. Appeals all around, but the linesman is adamant, and Don Davis not quite concurring with Pat McEnany. That's a little unusual. Kieran O'Sullivan belting it back. Darren Fay takes it. John McDermott now. Support ahead of him. This is Evan Kelly. Promising move here. Donald Curtis once again. Back to Trevor Giles. They chase, they harry. That was Joe Kavanagh back doing the defending. Curtis nicely across. Final shot there was Nigel Crawford. Graham Gerrity's after it. And good work by O'Halpine. That's not a good pass out, but it does come good in the end to Owen Sexton. Meath leading. Won back brilliantly here by Darren Fay. Did well to stay on his feet. Here's Trevor Giles. Very clever player. Always tries to pick out someone. It's a huge ball inside there towards Graham Geraghty, broken down towards Ollie Murphy. And Ollie Murphy scores! It's a goal for Meath. 25 minutes are gone. Brilliant opportunism by Meath. It's 1-3 to 2 points. But I think a man who takes an awful lot of the credit is Trevor Giles. It was knocked down by Graham Geraghty to Ollie Murphy, who beat Kevin O'Dwyer, the first goal of the game. Kieran O'Sullivan belting it down for Cork, who look for a rapid response. Players on the ground, two players colliding there. Paddy Reynolds wanted to take the free kick quickly, but the referee, I think, seeing that attention is required. Nigel Crawford's down injured, and one of the Cork players as well, and maybe Podsy O'Mahony. It's not Podsy, Podsy's on his feet. I think it's probably Nicholas Murphy from Carrigaline.
Well, the Meath goal has come along with the growing influence of Don McDermott around the middle of the field. Cork had a very good patch for 10 minutes, didn't get the scores. Meath are coming back into it. McDermott has been doing very well around the middle of the field, and I suppose yes, a clash of heads there between Nigel Crawford and Nicholas Murphy, but that dispels any doubts, I think, about the fitness of Ollie Murphy as well, the way he took that goal.
Yeah, it was taken brilliantly. This time Owen Sexton can't contain it, and it's Evan Kelly who comes forward once again. Another menacing run here, trying to nudge his way through the heart of the Cork defence. Plenty of bodies back there in the red shirts, and in the end there's a foul by Ollie Murphy. Free out quickly. Here's Nicholas Murphy back to Martin Cronin, switching all around the place. This is Don Davis, ready to take on Enda McManus. Cork will feel they need scores quickly. Micheál Cronin inside, beyond Philip Clifford. They claim there was a foul there. In fact, it was Podsy O'Mahony who was dragged back. Podsy limping just a little. And Don Davis is down and needs attention from Dr. Con Murphy. Well, the spray applied to the wound, and they'll be hoping he's back on his feet quickly and buzzing as usual. Philip Clifford, the team captain, taking this free on the 20-metre line. This to put a goal between the teams. He's caught it well. His first point of the day from a free. Cork fans a little bit happier, but no doubt rocked by the Ollie Murphy goal a little while ago, because it's now 1-3 to 3 points.
Well, Graham Geraghty does very well, knocks it down to Ollie Murphy, and Anthony Lynch gets caught in slightly the wrong position, and Ollie puts it across them, very similar to the goal he scored in the Leinster final against Dublin. Good work by Geraghty. He hasn't been doing that well recently, and Sean O'Halpine has started very well at full-back for Cork.
Huge kick out. John McDermott contesting with Nicholas Murphy, who wins it. That's Micheál O'Sullivan. Towards Philip Clifford. It's fisted away by Cormac Murphy. Back to John McDermott once again. Beats the attempted block. Pressure on the Cork backs once more. Evan Kelly takes it delightfully, and that's kicked over the bar. That's a great point. Evan Kelly with his second point of this final. And you really felt that time that Cork had enough bodies back to have dealt with the situation. Dangerous and all as it was, but it's now 1-4 to 3 points.
Well, Evan Kelly has started in fantastic form for Meath. He's having the beating of Martin Cronin on this side of the field most of the time, and Meath are putting the ball in this direction.
He's had 2 shots at the target. He's had 2 points as well. This is Kieran O'Sullivan inside towards Owen Sexton. A long way to go. This is Martin Cronin, seen as an attacking force. Inside towards Don Davis. Possibilities here. Don floating this one, and Don has put it wide. It's been the story of the first half so far. Cork with so many chances, and now 8 wides in all. And that was a really good opportunity.
Yes, that was a chance for Don to take another solo, and he'd been right in on the goalkeeper. Shot very hastily, and a very bad wide when Cork need a point.
Cormac O'Sullivan varying it somewhat, fisted back down by Ronan McCarthy, but only as far as Nigel Crawford. Good use of possession once again, inside towards Graham Geraghty. Trying to steal a march here on Sean O'Halpine, who started well. Geraghty. Nice, intelligent use inside of possession once again towards Nigel Nestor. Bottled up. Kieran O'Sullivan and Sean O'Halpine, it spills away from them. Hank Traynor playing it forward towards Ollie Murphy. Back down again, Graham Geraghty comes forward. Still Geraghty. Aware that he could have held on and touched the ball on the ground. He had support there from Paddy Reynolds as well, who was way up with the attack. Well, the referee, I think, opting to throw the ball in. Micheál O'Sullivan and John McDermott making themselves ready for action. This is Paddy Reynolds. Good work by Paddy Reynolds. Nobody able to get a block on it, but Reynolds has kicked it poorly. Kevin O'Dwyer here, 25-year-old Garda from Skibbereen. He's serving in Kanturk and is kicking from the canal end here. Not a space to be found among the terraces and in the stands. Over the head of Nicholas Murphy. This is Paddy Reynolds. He's come much more into the match in the last few minutes. Taking it back from Trevor Giles. Not a good ball, straight to Martin Cronin. Trying to open up the Meath defence. Philip Clifford trying to get a touch on it. Micheál O'Croneen, UCC man, Neva Vaughan as well. Nicely into Podsy O'Mahony. Cork look for a response there, and Podsy O'Mahony has put it over the bar. Podsy from Ballincollig with his first point of the day. A vital contribution because a goal between the teams once more. A real free-flowing movement here. Lovely hand pass inside by Micheál O'Croneen, who stayed down injured after this, but a great finish by Podsy O'Mahony. Well, O'Croneen is back on his feet once again. Tough young man who's playing in just his second championship game. And Hank Traynor has been given the yellow card, so it's the first yellow card of the match for the Meath number 7. O'Sullivan's kick directed in towards the tall men at midfield again. Hank Traynor trying to take possession. That scramble there with Micheál O'Sullivan. It'll be Meath's ball.
That booking of Hank Traynor took place for, I think, a late tackle on Micheál O'Croneen when he had put Podsy O'Mahony in for that point.
Here's Nigel Nestor. Back to Paddy Reynolds once again. Nicely forward for Donald Curtis. Ronan McCarthy trying to dispossess a beautiful ball to Evan Kelly. What a match he's playing. What a kick. 3 kicks at the target. 3 points by Evan Kelly. There are days, I suppose, when fellas come along and play the game of their life, and Evan Kelly is doing that just now. He's made it 1-5 to 4 points.
Yes, Evan Kelly's on fire for Meath here on the right wing. Martin Cronin giving him plenty of room, and Kelly is really punishing him.
Well, you feel that Cork may make a switch with Kieran O'Sullivan and Martin Cronin pretty soon if this continues. Nigel Crawford belting it back in. That's Ronan McCarthy. Anthony Lynch back to Cronin once again. Here's Kieran O'Sullivan, who's a very tight marker, and I would not at all be surprised if he was given the job of picking up Kelly pretty soon. Here comes Podsy O'Mahony. Paddy Reynolds alongside him. Still Podsy. Nicholas Murphy calling for it. Good little block there by Paddy Reynolds. Did just enough to take the heat out of it. Here's Enda McManus. Trevor Giles now for Meath. Very much the architect of that goal. Nigel Nestor. A minute of time remaining in the first half. Nestor drives it in towards Graham Geraghty once again. Touchdown this time by O'Halpine. But even if Geraghty doesn't get the ball cleanly himself, he touches it down and others are coming in anticipating. It's one of their tactics. This is Owen Sexton. Beautiful ball inside for Joe Kavanagh. Takes up a very good position. George Clifford holds onto it well. Cormac Murphy breathing down his neck and doing a little more than breathing. He's fouled the Cork man, and it's a free in for the Munster champions.
Yes, and in fairness to Clifford, he's the one man in the Cork full forward line who's really showing for every ball that's going in there, and he's been winning most of them. Cormac Murphy sticking very tight to him, but Clifford, it must be said, is doing very well.
But of Clifford, that right knee very heavily strapped up there. It's an old injury that he had when he was about 18 years of age. But he's done really well to re-establish himself as a very fine forward. He boots with the left and he scores once again. A second pointed free by Philip Clifford. A crucial point coming close to half-time. The match now in injury time at the end of the opening 35 minutes, and just a goal between the teams.
Yes, and Cork have made the switch that we were talking about earlier. Kieran O'Sullivan now over on Evan Kelly, and Martin Cronin gone across to take Nigel Nestor on the other side.
Again, they belt it down here towards John McDermott, but it's fisted back by Nicholas Murphy, the Cork midfielder. Picked up by Paddy Reynolds. On for John McDermott. Owen Sexton trying to close him. Inside towards Evan Kelly once more. His new marker, number 5, just behind him. And Kelly, for once, has missed an opportunity. 5 wides for Meath. And the referee with a shrill whistle at the end of the first half. It's been Meath's half, really. They've taken their chances. Cork have kicked too many wides, and so far in that first half, Cork have kicked 7 wides, but Ollie Murphy's goal after 25 minutes separates the teams going into the break. It was a very well taken one. And at half-time, here at Croke Park in the 1999 All-Ireland football final, it's Meath 1-5, Cork 5 points.
Yes, Cork so full of industry in that first half, but Meath so full of direct football, and that man Ollie Murphy, some people wonder going into the match, was he fit enough? Should they start him? Well, he's given the answer in that first half, hasn't he? We're going to take a commercial break. I'll be talking to the panel about that first half when you come back.
So Clifford, Davis, and I think it's Potsy O'Mahony were just puerile. It was dreadful altogether. But
nothing wasteful about Ollie Murphy's goal, though.
No, absolutely not. Like, and it's a trademark Meath score. The simplicity of it is really what's at the core of it. Fay wins the ball, 50-50, lets it off to Trevor Giles. Short hand pass. Trevor looks up and launches one of these raking kicks, purposeful raking kicks in. The ball is expertly broken by Graham Geraghty, and Ollie just drifts the ball into the far corner of the net. Very typical of the score that he got in the Leinster final against Dublin. Beautifully taken across the goalkeeper's body, skidding it along the ground, the most difficult of all balls for a goalkeeper to stop. And again, it was the one incident in the game in the first half that illuminated the game as far as I'm concerned.
Well, simplicity, Paul Early, also has been the hallmark of what Evan Kelly has done in this first half. 3 great points.
Absolutely. I thought with all the pressure on the big name players that there was going to be more room for the lesser lights, if you like, to shine, and that's been very evident in the first half, where Evan Kelly has played tremendously well. And again, it's direct football. John McDermott, a great kick, but a super contest, a great catch. But the key point there is that the Meath full forward line know the ball is going to come in like that, and they've got the sit on the defenders, they've got the advantage on the defenders, and that happens time and time again. And even though Sean O'Halpine was dominant over Graham Geraghty in the first 10 minutes, that didn't deter the midfielders and Trevor Giles from continuing to kick those long balls in. They know they're coming in, they were able to win the contest, and the score that Ollie Murphy got where he broke off the player was pre-planned in practice. And again, Evan Kelly, a great contest, and he's kicked 3 great points.
That's obviously what Larry Tompkins will be hoping that his Cork forwards can do in the second half. We take another break, come back to us again after that.
Number of opportunities in this first half.
Yeah, that's a disappointment, you know, but there's nothing we can do about that now. That's history, and we've just got to go on now and play the next 35 minutes all for it.
Still believe you can win the All-Ireland?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, that's the view of Conor Coonahan, and the referee, Michael Curley from Galway, is about to restart. And this is the trophy, of course, the Sam. Anthony Lynch certainly having his hands full this afternoon. Back to Giles once more. This time a good run by Donald Curtis. Hoping to pop it over the bar, but it's Graham Geraghty who takes it instead, and he goes down, and it's a penalty. A penalty for Meath in the very first minute of the second half. Michael Curley was in absolutely no doubt. Once Meath had taken possession, once it was belted in, as the rain pours down yet again at Croke Park, Meath have this glorious chance now to put even further distance between themselves and the Munster champions. It's Trevor Giles to kick it. Kevin O'Dwyer in goal. He saved it. A save by Kevin O'Dwyer. Cork get a lead off. Well, that miss by Trevor Giles, will that be a very costly one at the end of 70 minutes? Still just a goal between the teams. Kieran O'Sullivan taking the free kick. Held there by Podziomani, who's had a good match so far. Good block down by John McDermott, really threw himself at that. Well, what about that penalty miss, Colin?
Well, Kevin O'Dwyer obviously had his homework done. Trevor Giles, of course, scored a penalty into that right corner against Mayo in '96. O'Dwyer obviously knew which direction it was going to go.
And this time, the direction which Cork are going is via Philip Clifford, and that ball's gone over the bar. His third point, first from play. Rain really lashing down here now, but suddenly just 2 points between the teams.
Yes, and an incredible turning point. Instead of 6 points being in it, there's only 2 now.
This was the penalty, and the save by Kevin O'Dwyer. He tried to place it, didn't hit it particularly hard or particularly well, but a good save nonetheless by Kevin O'Dwyer. If Meath lose the match by a point, they'll probably think back and say, well, maybe you should have kicked it over the bar altogether. But when you get penalties, I guess you have to go for that goal chance. Here's Trevor Giles. Meath will be hoping that that doesn't upset his composure. And so Sexton gets it back to Ronan McCarthy. The right corner back. Giles back there to challenge. Martin Cronin. Philip Clifford, very difficult ball for him to take, but it bounces back towards Joe Kavanagh, trying to play it into the space beyond Cormac Murphy. Good tracking back by Meath's number 4, however. McManus, who's had a great match, towards Nigel Nestor, trying to break it to somebody. Kieran O'Sullivan quickly to Owen Sexton, back out to Martin Cronin once again. Here's Micheál O'Sullivan. Mark O'Sullivan, one of those players who might be under a bit of pressure from the management to get more and more into this match. He's got a point so far. One of just 4 scorers for Cork so far in the game.
So Cork must be setting a record for kicking balls over the line. Micheál O'Sullivan, very, very poor kicking throughout this match.
Mark O'Reilly rather. That's fisted down by Trevor Giles. Kieran O'Sullivan. Here's Don Davis, back around his own half-back line, come midfield. Loves to run straight at teams. Getting assistance here from Micheál O'Sullivan. Now Joe Kavanagh. 2 points between the teams. Lots of dummies being sold. It's still Kavanagh. Having assistance and support there. Podziomani back to Joe Kavanagh once again. Joe Kavanagh with a goal chance. It's a goal for Cork! Into the second half. Cork lead for the very first time in the All-Ireland final. And this was hand-passed into Joe Kavanagh. And back once again. He got a goal in the 93 final. He's got a goal now against Meath in the 99 final. And the scoreline right now is Cork 1-6, Meath 1-5. Anybody's match. And it's a lot more open a game than people were speculating on beforehand. That's good work by Martin Cronin, dispossessing Nigel Nestor. Up towards Mark O'Sullivan. Mark O'Reilly sticking to his task, however. Paddy Reynolds trying to get it away. John McDermott's there as well. Here's Reynolds. Now Evan Kelly, the star of the first half. And this time it's broken by Donald Curtis down for Ollie Murphy. Looks for another goal! He was very close. Donald Curtis broke it for him, and he's anticipating time and again. It was a really close call that time.
Yes, there was a hint of a penalty about that. Anthony Lynch stranded outside. He should have learned his lesson the first half. Ollie Murphy nearly tipping it in, but what a brilliant goal by Joe Kavanagh. Sort of a trademark goal from him. The dummy first to sell it to the man coming to tackle him and then sticking it in the net. He's done that so often for Cork.
Trevor Giles gets it back. There's a buzz of anticipation among the Cork crowd, not just because of the goal, but because Fionn Murray is about to come in. The man with the goal touch. Here's O'Halpine. Out to Ronan McCarthy. Fionn Murray not in the match just yet. He's on the sideline waiting. Waiting for possession is Graham Geraghty. Looking for the score here. Graham hits it. But he's hit it over the bar, yes. He got it right. The umpires had a look at one another. And that was beautifully measured by Graham Geraghty, his first point of the match. And here is Fionn Murray, goals against Limerick, goals in the Munster final against Kerry, and of course a goal as well in the semi-final. And Mark O'Sullivan has been taken off the Cork team. It's 1-6 to 1-6. Beautifully balanced. Kieran O'Sullivan. A foul on the Cork number 5. It'll be a free kick for the Munster champions. A disappointed Mark O'Sullivan takes his place back on the bench. Frank Murphy there on the right-hand side pointing something that's happening out on the field, but that's confirmation of the change. Fionn Murray, the new man in. Straight away he required attention.
Well, it must be said that it's been a great sporting, hard game up to now. It'd be a pity if there was any incidents in it. Cork persisting with the short passing in defence, which is causing them a lot of trouble. They're the more dominant team in terms of possession, and really with the amount of possession they have, they should be in front.
The referee is calling aside Mark O'Reilly for that foul on Fionn Murray. Murray was barely on the pitch, 30 seconds I suppose, before he was hit. And he's had his number recorded. There is no booking for that. This is Kieran O'Sullivan. That was an earlier incident involving Trevor Giles. This is Podsy O'Mahony. Match all square. Early stages of the second half. Podsy O'Mahony trying to go through. No foul. Referee says play on. Podsy's annoyed. John McDermott doing great work back there helping out his defence, providing the leadership. This is Donald Curtis, broke down a good ball earlier on for Ollie Murphy, which might have produced another Meath goal, but didn't do so. But this has produced a Meath free. Darren Fay will take it. Son of Jimmy, former Meath star himself. Huge one down. Good catch this time by Anthony Lynch. Here's O'Halpine. He's played a good game. Micheál O'Sullivan outside to Don Davis. The play anywhere, number 14. This is Ronan McCarthy. Way out from right corner back. John McDermott about to challenge. McCarthy almost running out of space. This is Fionn Murray. He's left it behind to Mark O'Reilly. And Mark O'Reilly is a very tight marking and tough defender. And this time the referee is going to isolate one of the Meath players for this latest foul, and it's John McDermott who is being spoken to, and it looks like he's going to get a yellow card for that. Referee still having words, and that is the yellow card for John McDermott. So now 2 yellow cards for Meath players. They're Hank Traynor and John McDermott. This free to Cork, about to be taken by Podsy O'Mahony. Oh, he slipped as he was hitting it, but still got enough power on that in towards Don Davis, but Don's shooting isn't good. Another wide for Cork. So still 1-6 to 1-6. Tense afternoon right now at Croke Park. Hope you're enjoying the occasion and the tension. With people like Paddy O'Brien watching this in Beijing, would you believe it? John Ring in San Francisco, and I hope that Dara in London is enjoying it as well. Nicholas Murphy jumping with 2 Meath players. Martin Cronin. Challenged there by Hank Traynor. This is Micheál O'Sullivan. To Micheál O'Cronin. Shouldered well there by Nigel Nestor. Spills out to Don Davis, going through 4 Meath players before he gets it back to O'Sullivan. Inside, but it's touched back by Darren Fay, and anticipating as ever is Mark O'Reilly. Donald Curtis, the only Meath player over that particular corner right now. Plenty of Cork men. This is Owen Sexton. Kieran O'Sullivan pushing forward. Trevor Giles trying to close down that space into Podsy O'Mahony. Somehow Meath managed to get that ball back. That was almost impossible to do, but they managed to do so. Comes out once again. And Kieran O'Sullivan with that hit and hope one. But again, the ball has gone wide. And there are now 10 wides for Cork in this match on a very wet afternoon. This was that move there involving Joe Kavanagh, taking it back beautifully, and an absolutely wonderful goal right in past Cormac O'Sullivan. So 2 very good goals in this match so far, and a number of goal chances. Fisted back by Nicholas Murphy. Line ball to Meath. And Faulkner Collins is being prepared on the far side. Faulkner, who scored the first of Cork's goals in the Munster final win against Kerry. Here's Don Davis. Cormac Murphy is doing a policing job on him, but that time he fouls the policeman, the Garda based in Bantry. Micheál O'Sullivan. Fionn Murray trying to get inside. Mark O'Reilly. A goal a game in his last 3 matches. That one was partially dropped down. Evan Kelly coming into his own half-back line to take possession. John McDermott. Only one man to aim at, and the one man gets it in the end. That's the Trevor Giles. Donald Curtis. Ronan McCarthy trying to block him. Might have done just enough to unsettle the wing forward. Donald Curtis got a very, very fine point in the first half.
Well, tight games like this, Ger, generally decided by a moment of genius. We've had it already from Ollie Murphy and Joe Kavanagh. It would be hard to see a team who'd score another goal losing the game. Cork have been on top for the last 5 or 10 minutes, as they were for a period in the first half, and didn't put Meath away. I'm sure Meath will come back into it possession-wise.
Once again, it's Don Davis. That's belted away, however, by Hank Traynor. Down towards Ollie Murphy. Anthony Lynch trying to dispossess him, trying to drag him down. In the end, he does so, and that has to be a free in. Well, he's protested that he was being pulled and dragged as well, but the referee not interested. He's given the free kick to Ollie Murphy's team. So an opportunity here for Trevor Giles to kick a handy point.
Yes, Anthony Lynch is having his problems with Ollie Murphy. A bit surprising that Cork don't shift Ronan McCarthy over him. Ronan McCarthy, of course, did very well on Maurice Fitzgerald at the Munster final and would look more like a man marker.
No surprise that Faulkner Collins has just come into the action. Haven't seen who's made way just yet. And that is kicked over the bar. Trevor Giles with his second point from a free. So Meath lead in this All-Ireland final, but it's by the narrowest of margins. Now the player who's gone off the Cork team, by the way, is Micheál O'Croneen, being replaced by Faulkner Collins. Needs a bit of reshaping. Collins has gone in on the 40. He was contesting there with that kick out to midfield. Sean O'Halpine. This is towards Podsy O'Mahony, and he is dispossessed by Paddy Reynolds. Evan Kelly. Knocked down towards Ollie Murphy once again. Plenty of Cork players there. Ronan McCarthy only touches it down to Donald Curtis. Cork put under pressure, and Graham Geraghty in the end sliding in there on Micheál O'Sullivan, something which you can't do. So it's a free to Cork. Martin Cronin with the free towards Philip Clifford. Just put off his stride there somewhat by Cormac Murphy. John McDermott unable to pick it up the first time of asking. Here's Murphy once more. Again, plenty of defenders back there. Martin Cronin. This is Ronan McCarthy. Micheál O'Sullivan. Don Davis coming, looking. Here's Kieran O'Sullivan. towards Fionn Murray, playing at top of the left, dispossessed straight away here by Mark O'Reilly. Evan Kelly, intended for Ollie Murphy, won back by Owen Sexton. Mops up a lot of that loose ball in the half-back line. This time he is fouled by Ollie Murphy, an unfair shoulder, the referee decides. Meath don't agree. Free to Cork. Here's Martin Cronin. Ronan McCarthy with 20 minutes to go. And that is lost once again by Podsy O'Mahony, and Paddy Reynolds looking completely in control. And O'Halpine gets out ahead of Graham Geraghty. That's been his tactic and it has worked so far. Nicholas Murphy. Ronan McCarthy again, seeing that there are loose players about. Sexton locating Podsy O'Mahony. Anxious again to run at the Meath half-back line. Trying to find gaps. Hank Traynor getting in there, and the referee says the shoulder was into the back of the Cork man, and a free to Cork. This free is about 30 metres out from goal, and an opportunity for Cork once again to draw level. It'll be Philip Clifford who will kick it. And he's just taken off his gloves while he can concentrate fully on the next couple of moments. Tension everywhere. Struck just inside the left-hand post and over the bar. 4 points for Philip Clifford. Teams are level for the third time in the All-Ireland football final, where it's Cork 1-7, Meath 1-7.
Listen, Philip Clifford doing a lot to keep Cork in the game. People probably wondering, looking at television, why Cork are persisting with short passing and soloing. A lot of their forwards are not showing for the ball, so the backs in particular have to carry the ball.
This time it's broken down to Don Davis again. Really works so hard in midfield when he comes out from full forward. McManus in over the head of Kieran O'Sullivan, missed by Ollie Murphy, but not so by Graham Geraghty. They almost get him on another's way. Graham Geraghty scored an almost impossible point a little earlier in the game, and this time he hits it again, and this time he replicates the action. Same result, and a second for Graham Geraghty, and they are absolutely thrilled up on Hill 16. The supporters of Meath have seen their team go back in front once more. It's a compelling All-Ireland football final, and Meath are 1-8, Cork 1-7. Cork having made 2 changes to their starting 15 already. Meath are content and happy with the way things are going for their starting team. Martin Cronin, and that is carried out over the sideline by John McDermott. And Sean Boylan there having a little word with some of the county board officials. Maybe there's a name to be written there by Liam Craven or Fintan Ginnity. Broken down by Cormac Murphy, won by Hank Traynor, swallowed up by Cork players, however. They wanted to hold on and foul the ball, and he does so, and Cork have got the free in. Faulkner Collins did really well in that instance. He just stood there. He's a very imposing man, the number 19, and Michael Curley, the referee, said you held on too long. Clifford got the last one. Again, the gloves have been taken off. It looks like Meath are about to bring in Richie Keeley into their team. Clifford has taken 3 frees so far. He's converted all 3. This is about the same distance out as the last time. Meath have put up a wall in front of him, but it doesn't unsettle him one little bit, and he's put it over the bar once more. 5 points for Clifford, giving leadership. They're giving support. And the scoreline right now reads Cork 1-8, Meath 1-8. So Richie Keeley is now in the match, the number 21 for Meath. He's gone down into their attack, and I'm not sure who has left the fray just yet. The referee also isn't quite sure. He's waiting to see who's going, and it's going to be Nigel Nestor. So the number 10 goes, the number 21 is on. 15 minutes to play. John McDermott breaks it down. Here's Keeley, first test. Back to Trevor Giles. Nigel Crawford Well, intent upon going on a little solo. Didn't quite work out for him. And Trevor Giles has kicked it to the left. Meath fans, I'm sure, a bit annoyed with the wides that they've had, but, well, they're still level. They've had 8 wides so far, Meath. Cork have been the more wasteful of the two teams in that particular department. Faulkner Collins challenging there with Enda McManus, breaks for John McDermott. Back from Trevor Giles, comes back from Keeley once again to Giles. Well, now, who's got the greater appetite? They're both tremendously fit teams. And as Colm O'Rourke was saying a little while ago, it may just take a little lucky break somewhere. Joe Kavanagh, inside for Philip Clifford. Clifford has Kavanagh in support, manages to locate him. The goal scorer earlier in this half. That's a good-looking kick by Joe Kavanagh, and it floats. Well, from here it looked like it had gone over the bar, but the umpire was nice and calm and cool about it and said, no, wide. So another really good chance has gone a-begging, and that is now 11 wides for Cork.
Well, if Cork lose this, they certainly will rue all those wides. A lot of them fairly easy kicks for forwards of the calibre that we should have here today.
Fisted back by Faulkner Collins once again. Here's Clifford. Oh, he scooped that off the ground. It's going to be a free, and tempers flare a little bit here. Thankfully it doesn't get out of hand. Free to Meath. Trevor Giles. Huge one down towards Graham Geraghty, but it carries and carries, and in the end goes off the leg of Shoro Gohalpina, I think. Well, down in the Nally stand, plenty of young supporters down there, but it's going to be Cork's sideline ball. McCarthy to take it. Here's Micheál O'Sullivan, the midfielder. Graham Geraghty kicks it away, however, to Trevor Giles, looking for a lead point for Meath, but not with that particular kick. But it has been touched by one of the backs, and it's a 45. Well, I think that is the first we've had in the match so far. So possession for Meath. There's Sean Boylan there with his fellow selectors, of course, Frank Foley and Eamon O'Brien. Eamon on the left-hand side. Can they hatch a plan to win Meath's 7th All-Ireland final victory? Cork going for their 7th as well, but now under a bit of pressure.
Yes, in normal circumstances you'd expect Giles to put this over wet ball, wet boots, wet ground. It's much more difficult.
Well, he's made little of the conditions because he has floated over the bar for his 3rd point of this match, and Meath lead once more. A beautifully kicked 45 by Trevor Giles from screen. Up on the hill, the Meath fans are hopeful. They lead 1-9 to 1-8. Broken down once again. And Enda McManus, who's worked really hard in the centre half-back position, locating Donal Curtis, runs on towards Evan Kelly. 3 points in the first half, nothing in the second, but he has been playing much deeper. Kieran O'Sullivan has been fouled after that ball was kicked away, and it's going to be a free from where the ball lands. And the mentors there on the sideline for Cork, getting a little animated. But really it is anybody's match. O'Sullivan, that's blocked down there by John McDermott. Comes back once again to the midfielder. Driven in towards Faulkner Collins. Murray's there as well. It comes to Murray! He was looking for his 4th goal in 4 championship matches. This, once again, was the angle that Fionn Murray had. Plenty of the goal to aim at.
Yes, and Cork discovering maybe now that the direct route might pay off.
2 Meath men run into one another. Cork get it back. It's Ronan McCarthy. They're behind by a point. Up to Podsy O'Mahony. Still Podsy. Evan Kelly back trying to deny him. Darren Fay coming out as well. And that's driven in towards the canal end. A very poor finish in the end by Podsy O'Mahony. Another wide, and I think that's about 12 or 13 in fact at this stage. Let's go down to the sideline to Marty.
Indeed, that last challenge involving Hank Traynor and Kieran O'Sullivan has resulted in an injury for Hank Traynor, and Barry O'Callaghan has been told to warm up. In fact, as I speak to you, Sean Boylan has told Barry, you're in this All-Ireland final.
And Barry, of course, was in as well in 1996, those two matches against Mayo when he played a very full role. So Barry O'Callaghan coming in.
Yes, and Meath will restructure Donald Curtis going back to right half back, a position that he'd be happier playing in anyway, and Barry Callahan will come in at corner forward.
Well, it's been one of the great successes for Sean Boylan in particular, the way he's been able to adapt players like Hank Traynor, you mentioned Donald Curtis, Nigel Nestor, all very adaptable players.
No doubt about that. There's been 3 or 4 backs created into forwards over the year. The latest being Graham Geraghty, and I suppose Donald Curtis and Nigel Nestor fit that bill as well.
Mickey O'Donovan from West Cork has just come in to the Cork team, and Podsy O'Mahony has been replaced. So the second game in a row, Podsy has finished the match sitting on the bench. So Cork have now played their full hand in this. That was Anthony Lynch getting out there just ahead of Ollie Murphy. Here's Sholago Halpine. Difficult one for Kieran O'Sullivan. Yet Evan Kelly coming in behind him. Meath look for another score. Cork deny them. And then the boot goes flying in and Meath will have the free kick. Richie Keeley was fouled that time. That's Micheál O'Sullivan there from Carbery Rangers. But it's a free kick for Meath. And a chance to put 2 points between the teams with only about 8 minutes remaining. Trevor Giles taking lots and lots of time over this. Interesting that Mickey O'Donovan, who's come in, the number 17, ordinarily would be a corner back, one of the best cornerbacks in the country during the league, but he's now up in the corner forward spot. Giles kick, and once again the cheers of the Meath fans, because he's landed it right between the posts. His 4th point, all of them coming from frees. 1 of 45, all valuable because Meath have a 2-point lead. Kevin O'Dwyer. Nigel Crawford breaking it down. Once again it's Trevor Giles trying to take a firm command of this match. He's fouled. Martin Cronin doing the fouling. Jersey pulled. Free quickly taken. Donald Curtis couldn't quite hold on to it. Cronin gets it back. Don Davis putting the head down in determined fashion. John McDermott chasing after him. It's still Don Davis. Cork have missed so many opportunities in this final. This is Micheál O'Sullivan. And this one ends up where so many have gone in the past. A very, very poor finish. They'll be bitterly disappointed with the shooting of their forwards and midfielders.
Yes, and in position like this, Ger, Meath 2 points up. They normally win games like this because a lot of their forwards will retreat back and make life very difficult for Cork to score. Cork probably need to get a goal. It's hard to see them getting one.
Yeah, it's looking like a Cork goal is urgently required if they're to win this final. This is Richie Keeley. Meath with their noses in front at a vital time of the contest. In towards Barry Callahan. Barry playing up at the forward line. Back to Keeley once again. And that one has gone away to the right. Still just 2 points between them. And as you can see from the clock in the top left-hand corner, about 5 minutes remaining. O'Sullivan breaking it down, but he breaks it down for a Meath man, and that Meath man is Trevor Giles, who has fouled subsequently. Free once again for the Royal County. That's Fachtha Collins, very, very valuable player. The referee just instructing the Cork half-back, Martin Cronin, to retreat 13 metres. Giles, can he get another one? Not on this particular occasion. That's 10 wides by Meath, an awful lot of wides in this final. It's almost been the story of both finals this year in hurling and in football. That's once again won by Trevor Giles. A clever ball into Graham Geraghty, takes up a good position, gets out ahead of his man, and then he kicks it, and he kicks it over the bar. Graham Geraghty's third. 3 shots on target, 3 points by the Meath captain, and I think they've got the scent of victory in their nostrils. It's 111 to 1-8. Faulkner Collins, that's beaten, and it's fisted away by Nigel Crawford. Picked up once again here, Barry Callaghan. Evan Kelly, back towards Ollie Murphy. Meath rampant at this stage in towards Graham Geraghty. Meath, who missed a penalty in the very first minute of the second half, have a 3-point lead. Geraghty once again. Great block down by Sean O'Halpine. It's back with Giles once more. Here's Graham Geraghty. Opening it out. Evan Kelly. Challenged there by Kieran O'Sullivan, who's been his marker since the latter stage of the first half. Well, just a moment ago here, this was a tremendous block down here by Sean O'Halpine. He's had a very good match, and all of those people who said that his display in the full back line was suspect, well, they've got their answer this afternoon.
Yes, I was one of the doubting Thomases of Sean O'Halpine at full back, but he's been probably the best player on the Cork team, along with Philip Clifford, given outstanding display of forward play.
This is what happened just moments ago there, as the ball was carried out there by Kieran O'Sullivan.
Yes, and the linesman has called attention to the incident, and he is now given a free to Meath.
Ollie Murphy, the one who takes it, and that's gone out of play. 2 minutes to go, and a little bit of injury time perhaps. The amateur whistlers for Meath encouraging the referee. Meath, I think, would be happier if they could get another point to put 4 between them. They're working towards it once again, and Trevor Giles had the opportunity. But he must be quite exhausted at this stage. It's been one of those matches where the ground has certainly taxed the energy of the players, and now what they have, they want to hold.
Yes, it's Meath leaving the door open a little bit, should have killed the game off in the last 5 minutes.
Cork get it back once more. Martin Cronin trying to go forward, and he was hit high that time by Barry Callaghan. And the referee will go across to the man who came on as a substitute for Meath. And he has recorded his number. Meath bringing as many players back as possible. Cork know what they must do. They've got to get a goal. And the Meath defence standing firm. Paddy Reynolds there arguing his point with the linesman, Pat McEnany. Perhaps one last chance. Mickey O'Donovan dispossessed by Ollie Murphy. Look how far back the corner forward is. Threaded beautifully in here to Barry Callaghan. Are Cork to be denied the double? This is Micheál O'Sullivan. Back to Kieran O'Sullivan once more. Inside the last minute. Martin Cronin pushing forward. Mickey O'Donovan slipping there, but still holding possession. Donald Curtis back to challenge. Here's Kieran O'Sullivan. Dillon Murray and Mark O'Reilly was out there. And that ball running. And in the end, Darren Fay and his goalkeeper decide, let it go wide. Defiant Meath men up in there in the new canal end. Tommy Dowd is being tugged off to come on for the last few seconds to share in what looks like being victory for the Royal County. Those with shirts on, those without, and the big cheer now.
This would be a great moment for Tommy and Meath, for a man to come back after 3 months from a serious back operation. Tremendous moment for him, one he truly deserves.
Well, he's not in just yet. You said it would be a miracle. Because if he does come on, it'll take up another second or two. all of this will frustrate the Cork men. Cork want the ball back quickly, and Pat McEnany is right alongside the player who's taking the free. Mickey O'Donovan and the referee now halting the play. And now, the very popular Tommy Dowd, a sub in 1990, when Meath were defeated by Cork. And now he comes on once again to share, perhaps, in a glory moment at the end of the 90s. Evan Kelly has made way, but really it's just a chance to get the great man on. He's gone into full forward. How much time is the referee going to allow? A minute of injury time has been played. O'Donovan kicking past Joe Kavanagh. Darren Fay holding on to it right at the end line. Cork were appealing, he stepped out over the end line. Still appealing. And it's all over, and Meath are the All-Ireland football champions from 1999. They took their chances. Sean McDermott delighted. The Meath fans really savouring the moment. Meath were champions in 1996 after a replay. This time around, no replay needed. A disappointed Cork team denied the double. That's Owen Sexton on his knees there. But they had so many wides, and that was one of the features of the match. Cork kicked 15 wides, Meath kicked 12, but Meath kicked the scores as well to win the match by 3 points. Graham Geraghty got 3 very, very valuable scores. I think all of them in the second half of the game, after Evan Kelly had been one of the scoring stars of the opening 35 minutes. So no double for Cork this year. Cork the hurling champions, Meath the football champions. They've won the Sam Maguire Cup for the 7th time. Very, very disappointed, Larry Tompkins and Conor Coonahan. They go on to console players like Nicholas Murphy. But it's Meath who take the title. Once they got their noses in front, they showed how to take chances. And Sean Boylan has another great, great day to look back on after a great career. A man who took over a Meath team in the early 80s when, quite frankly, nobody else really wanted to take on the team. They were going almost nowhere. And he has won. And he has won here today by 111 to 1-8. It's a day for Meath. It's a day for Sean Boylan.
Sean, wonderful achievement.
Thank you very much indeed, Marty. I suppose this was for the lads of 99 and for the lads of 49.
Some performance in very difficult conditions.
Yeah, the conditions were terrible. You know, a lot of heart-rending stuff, but it's fantastic to be here. It's fantastic to have won another All-Ireland. And, you know, full credit to Cork. Huge battle, but I think our lads found an awful lot of depth in themselves today, and we're immensely proud of them.
Certainly when Trevor missed the penalty, when Kevin O'Dwyer saved it, there's a lot of people saying along the sideline, this was the turning point, this was going to be Cork's All-Ireland.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a 70-minute game, and it's Sean that carried them out. Here's the young fella I'd like to introduce.
Tommy Dowd introduced. Wonderful team performance.
Brilliant, Marty. Conditions were very poor. It started raining early on, but what a battling performance. But let me be the first to commiserate with Cork. It wasn't to be their day, but fair play to them. They've won in the bag anyway, so we'll enjoy this one.
It was great to get on the field to play, though, wasn't it, Tommy?
Great to get on at any stage, even though it was only on for the last 30 seconds or so. But it's great to be even a member of this panel. It's such a great group of lads.
And it was great to play for Dundee in that challenge match against Ballinlough. It paid dividends.
Well, it was needed badly, Marty, and it paid off in the end anyway.
Well done, Tommy Dowd.
Yes, the Meath players are down there dancing a jig, enjoying and savouring the moment. And I'm sure all the Meath fans right around the world are savouring this moment as well. People like Michael Fitzsimons, his girlfriend Loretto, out in Auckland in New Zealand. And I can think of a group who are in Boston right now, must be sick as you know what. They're a group called Ruby Horse, and they're watching it in Boston. They'll be disappointed, so will the other Cork fans. But they take one title from 99, Meath take the other. And as Tommy was saying, on a very difficult afternoon from the point of view of playing and the weather conditions, the team served us up a really good match. And Meath were able to avail of their chances. But in terms of scoring chances, it's an interesting statistic that Cork had almost as many chances as Meath to win the match. Meath had 26 scoring chances, Cork had 25. Cork took 9, Meath took 12, and that was the story of the match. Graham Geraghty now, of course, the new form of presentation. The fans have been asked to stay off the pitch for security reasons, so they're remaining in their seats. And the Meath team now going across to applaud their fans. And this is the presentation ceremony coming up now in the middle of the field.
Is lost Darul Isha, Dunner Father Balkan Croke. You're here with the Ash and Blaine Shahoin by Ordon Eogan Nuagin. Boyesha, Clifford, Pella, Jernach, on Cage, August Namilisha. August Togamish on Moyachas. The Irin Khotki, August the Irin Nami, a Hog Saad, Clifford in Yov, August Conchi, Einshira, August Podgate, Jacket. Togamish on Moyachas Dive, a Softon Saad Clifford, a Hogador doing in Yov. Nero, Tha, Le Khotki in Yov, August Eda Glora on double. August Baila, Ella, Egan Wooden Oak Shin. Ag Jeremy's Cohorticus, Le Conde Nami, a soft on Shapno, Craig Naheran, Egdol, Ojian Conde. Bovolume, Boyachus Agawal, the Octaron Naheran, a soft of Elin, Erich on Chesud Elfad, Ignaclihi, August on Stardus, a Hogshi, Don Cliffy, o Honig Shi Irain. Boyachus Hama, Don Tisha, August Arnoi, Boyachus Specialta, the Vank Nahera, August Falchi and Brit Pack McDowell, Cleve Effiga Conta, Vank Naheran, as of Don Oriac Imtachata Correr Falaco, the Crave Comortis Pella Nahera. Bowalan Boyachus Agawal, Leisure Maltar Mick Curley, August Namaid Akaurilesh. August Arnoi, Gamamish Boyachus, Le Imrodi Illa Pella Naheran, a Jimmel Zagreb Comortis and Lena. Ach, is she in yo, Law Nami, August Marshin, is Coachward Ahishcom, Curran, Sam Maguire, the Grave Bank Naheran, Safan, Shincher, Avrana and Kopje Nami, Graham Garrity.
So Joe McDonough, GA President, presents Sam Maguire to Graham Garrity and Meath are the football champions. Liam McCarthy will spend the year in Cork, but Sam goes down the road to the Royal County. John McDermott celebrates, they celebrate. It's been a great last 15 years really for me. Sean Boylan at the helm throughout all those years, and another success.
Rwy'n glad na hyn. Rwy'n glad o Cwmr Asgen. A Taoiseach of the land di. Ys born Corn Shaw Glacw. The son Cwmr na fi. I'd like to thank all the people here today. First of all, I'd like to thank my teammates. They're going got tough out there today. They stuck in, dug in deep, and they paid off in the finish. I'd also like to thank one man in particular. Since 1982 he's took over Meath. And somehow he seems to be able to come up with our Ireland champions. He's done it in 87, 88, 96, and now he's done it again in 99. That's Sean Boylan! There's more to this team than Sean Boylan. We have two selectors as well, Eamon O'Brien, Frank Foley. We've done social work over the winter. We also have a background team, I'd like to thank them as well. Running out of words. I'd also like to thank supporters. Unfortunately, a lot of them couldn't get tickets today. To all the supporters at home, we've done it for you. I'd also like to thank our sponsor, Keypack. They've done an awful lot of work for this Meath team. And without their sponsorship, we wouldn't be here today. Meath won the Sam Maguire back in 1949. It was a great honour for me and the silver anniversary to come back here and lift the Sam Maguire again. It makes it extra special to lift the one in, the old stamp, the new stamp, and to bring home the last of the millennium. It's a great honour. I'd also like to thank Cork for a great game here today. They were tough enough, nip and tuck there to the finish, and it could have went anyway in the end. I'd like to give the 3 cheers. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Right.
So this new format of presentation, which I think is going to be very much with us in the future, and there's plenty of debate about that. I know some people prefer to see the cup presented in the Hogan stand, but I think they like the idea of the team being able to do a lap of honour in glory at the end of it all. The Meath fans staying on, why wouldn't they? Mark O'Reilly there. What do you think of it, Colin?
Well, I'm one of the ones that agree with this. A lot of people like to get onto the pitch. I'd like to see the public maybe to be able to come onto the pitch afterwards when the players have gone. But it's nice to be able to do this lap of honour. But it's a tremendous day for Meath, a tremendous day for Sean Boylan. He has now built 2 completely separate teams to win All-Ireland. A great day for my club mates, John McDermott and Trevor Giles. And I'm also glad it didn't finish in a draw. now we'll be able to go to Australia. Also for Graham Geraghty, he really paved his way in the second half with those 3 great points.
Absolutely.
But I think it should be noted too, Cork showed their true sportsmanship with the presentation ceremony. All the players, all the officials, everybody stayed on the pitch. It was nice to see that.
Well, this is something we're going to get used to, and of course something we always get used to is seeing Tommy Dowd come on. He came on for the last couple of seconds, and now the Meath team going down to Hill 16 to take the applause from their fans. Wonderful fans who've enjoyed the successes over the years. And as Sean Boylan said a little while ago, victory in 1949, and now 50 years later, after they've celebrated that success down in Navan recently, they can celebrate another one. Evan Kelly, number 13 up there. Darren Fay as well. And Mark O'Reilly, who had to do a marking job, first of all on Mark O'Sullivan, and then on Fionn Murray. And the most anybody managed to get out of him for the afternoon was 1 point. And there were other stars, looking at that marvellous half-back line, Paddy Reynolds, Enda McManus and Hank Traynor. The band is on, as you can see. The crowds stay off, and the team is just able to celebrate. Well, some lucky people did manage to get on there, those connected with the team and the backroom people. And a wonderful ovation now for Sean Boylan. His family are here as well, his wife Tina. This is a glorious moment for him.
Well, that's the photograph there, I think, to dominate 1,000 papers, with John with the cup over his head.
Yes, a much-loved character. Commiserations to Cork, who gave it everything. And Larry Tompkins has done a really good job to bring him to the All-Ireland final. Not too many people fancied their chances at the start of the season, but they got there. So many other counties failed to make that same journey. And now, this is a lovely gesture as well, as the players come across here to some of the spectators in wheelchairs, and they're able to share a moment with them and enjoy a bit of banter as well. And from the canal end, this is the picture. The Cork fans have been making their way out, but the Meath fans will stay here until 6 o'clock if they're allowed. Why not? It's not every day you win the All-Ireland, and John McDermott has done it again, alongside Darren Fay there, 2 of the men who will be part of Colm O'Rourke's team in Australia. And of course, President McAleese, who we mentioned at the start of the programme, used to live in Meath, so I think she's enjoying this moment as well, and why not? One of the great moments in Irish sport, of course. President-elect Sean McCaig there, the Taoiseach Bertie Ahern, and they're able to enjoy the lap of honour, which is something completely different. I must say it's something that I very much enjoy seeing, because in the past the players nearly suffered more injuries when there were close on 20,000-30,000 people out on the field, everybody trying to get a piece of the action. Evan Kelly, who got lots of the action in the first half and kicked 3 wonderful points. Plenty of backs being slapped. Graham Geraghty, the captain from Seneschalstown. The cup being brought everywhere and anywhere. But it's a day for the green and gold of Meath. They win the All-Ireland for just the 7th time. And Minister Noel Dempsey, I believe, is down there as well, enjoying this moment. And there he is, just behind that gentleman with the raincoat. Well, the Cork fans a bit disappointed, as you can see from that picture, and that's very, very understandable. But it was a good match, it was played well, and the team that won in the end was the team coached by Sean Boylan. A team with many stars. Ollie Murphy there. Various bits and pieces being thrown into the crowd by the players, little mementos that they'll be able to take away with themselves, as the team is down now by the canal end goal. It means all of the fans can see the players after the match. They can see the cup at close quarters as well. Well, I think we can go down and hear some more words with Marty.
Thank you, Chair. Darren Fay joins me now. I'm sure a relieved man at this stage.
Well, relieved, yeah. Coming into the game like it's 50-50. Cork were great, great team all year. We never really knew if we could put it off, but towards the end there we kind of dominated and picked off our scores, and that's where we won it. So relieved in a sense, and I think it'll take about a day or two to sink in.
Sean Boylan spoke immediately after the game about the character of this team, and Trevor having missed the penalty, many people thought it was going to change the game, but he actually digged deep down.
Yeah, Trevor missed the penalty. Keeper made a good save, but fair play to the forwards and all the people around. Like, they just dug deep, and I think it was a kind of waking up call. Ever since then we kind of rallied round. Barry Callaghan come on, picked up a good few balls and laid them off, and that we just pulled it off in the end. I'm delighted. The penalty probably rallied the team after.
Certainly the spirit that's been shown in this team is a model for in the rest of the 31 counties.
Well, the spirit is influenced by just one man, that's Sean Boylan. Without him, there'd be no spirit in this team, and that's where the lads, and we had this spirit since '96. It's been locked away in the closet for the last couple of years, but we've opened up the closets this year and we're back.
Well, you proved the point today, Darren.
Well, we proved the point. We critics the last couple of years in our own media and national media, and we proved ourselves. This year, like, we just from day one, no one really gave us a chance again, and we just pulled it off. And we knew that if we kept at it and kept supporting each other during each game, we'd pull it off and win the All-Ireland.
Well, you won the All-Ireland. Congratulations, Darren. Well done. Delighted.
Great scenes of celebration then here at Croke Park. Now, I know the new format of presentation has its critics, but, well, it gives the players a chance to do what they want to do on their big day with the cup and bring it to the supporters and greet the supporters. And I think this is nice, and I think in a few years' time we'll wonder why we ever did it any way differently. Great celebrations all over me, down on the screen. We were there a little bit earlier on. They were watching us down on the big screen down there. There they are. Hello to everybody down on the screen. We'll be going and talking to them shortly after we take a commercial break. Young lady in a very precarious position at the moment. Graham Geraghty and family continue to parade the cup around. I'm glad you took it down from over his head, because he may have, to Sam Maguire, he may have lost a child in the process there. Let's have a look at the statistics from this afternoon's All-Ireland final then. Meath, the winners, 111 to 1-8, the final score. Quite a lot of frees in it, although it didn't quite seem that way at times, but I suppose it was slippy out there. Conditions were difficult, and an awful lot of wides as well in the match. Both sides sitting in it, but Cork hitting some dreadful wides. Just the 145 then and the 2 yellow cards. Both of those went against Meath players. Hank Traynor committed the first off the top of my head. I can't remember who the second one was, but 2 yellow cards anyway in the course of that match. Martin Carney, let's look at a few incidents from this game. Paul Early made a point at half-time that I thought was significant. He said last year Galway were struggling in the first half and then blitzed a 10-minute period in the second. It looked like Cork were going to do the same thing because it was set up for them. When Meath got the penalty, and it was missed.
That's right. The second half absolutely exploded into action. And I mean, there was an electricity about the first 5 minutes of the second half that was totally absent in the first half. And again, the penalty incident when it came, I mean, there was a wonderful long ball from what my memory serves me correct that came in. And Geraghty was very, very clever in the way that he used his body. Like Curtis put the ball in, Geraghty read the flight perfectly, overfielded, but then the way he went around O'Halpin there, he invited the penalty, and Sean Oak pulled him down. 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, 96, down in the other goals, Geraghty sent this, Trevor sent the ball exactly to the same side, but with more accuracy into the corner, and the goalkeeper coming in
6 points up. Now they're only 2 points up. Philip Clifford here.
Very much so, and then Philip Clifford went through and drove it over the bar, and here, okay, Cork went into the lead. I think that became 1-6 to 1-5 in favour of Cork. And I mean, at that stage, the game was set up for a tremendous second half. And I must say, it's a credit to their refusal to accept adversity that Meath kept going. And one point I think is worth mentioning in all of this, Michael, we haven't alluded to it yet. All this year, Meath's discipline has been excellent. Last year and the year before, they lost Leinster Championships and lost men in crucial games at critical times. This year, they had no players sent off, if memory serves me correct. And I think they probably looked at it over the last couple of years and said, OK, we may have won a couple of Leinsters and maybe have won a couple of more All-Irelands, how we've been a little bit more disciplined on the field. And that, I think, deserves credit and it deserves mention, because this year they were rock tight in that respect.
The score that gave Cork briefly the Meath, Paul, early, of course, was Joe Kavanagh's goal. This is one of the best goals I've ever seen at Croke Park.
Absolutely. Joe has a habit of scoring goals like this, but this was a tremendous individual score. He was involved in it from way out the field. He took the ball. Here we see him way out past the 45-metre line. You know, again, his silken skills, again, his balking skills, you know, right and left foot, takes on 2 defenders, beats 2 defenders, then passes the ball, and then he's lost. And then again, a lovely swerve and a magnificent finish. Yeah. But again, it shows again, if you run at defenders, good enough with the skills that Joe Kavanagh has, you're going to create goal-scoring opportunities. That's a classic goal. And again, as Martin said, worth the admission price to come in and see that goal and Ollie Murphy's goal in the first half. Tremendous piece of skill.
Martin, I'm just going to stop you before you make your point, because we have one of the Cork losing team with us. This is the Cork captain, Philip Clifford.
Thank you very much, Michael. No words of mine or indeed anybody else's, I'm sure, can ease the pain, Philip Clifford.
No, it was a devastating blow there to lose today. You know, we felt we didn't have a good first half, but we were still in it. Came out in the second half then, and you know, maybe we peaked a bit too soon. And we just didn't get the breaks really, and they steamrolled us in the end.
Lots of opportunities wasted by Cork today, which was surprising when you look back at your championship campaign so far.
Yeah, we missed a few chances in the first half. I suppose I must hold my hand up for a couple of them as well. So they just didn't go our way today, and we'll be back again hopefully.
I've been in the Cork dressing room, but maybe you just might describe the feeling and the despair that's down there at the moment.
I guess there's just nobody saying anything at the moment, but you know that everyone is absolutely heartbroken after the effort we've put in this year. But you know, if they say you have to lose one to win one, well, I hope that one is true.
Well, this is a very young team. I'm sure you're going to be back in the new millennium, Philip Clifford. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Martin.
I had lunch with Philip Clifford and Mark Landers, the hurling captain, last week down in Cork. A number of people coming up congratulating Mark Landers and clapping him on the back. And I knew Philip Clifford was sitting there saying, I hope this is going to be me. Not this year, he's a young player, maybe next year or the year after. Let's come back again to this match, Martin Carney. We talked about Graham Geraghty. We want to pick out one of his points because, again, he made such a contribution. Evan Kelly did it in the first half, but he contributed economically, but brilliantly.
Yes, 3 points in the first half from Kelly, 3 points in the second half from Geraghty. Some of the scores with either foot were just, absolute beauties. Here's a kick out from Dwyer into the middle of the park. Again, the break is won by Trevor Giles. Looking up, and again, look at the delightful ball he gives. Now, Graham Geraghty going away from the goals, turns around, screws it over the bar with his left foot. But he did that on 3 occasions, and even though Halpin was beating him to the ball on many occasions, he kept his concentration, didn't allow adversity to affect him, and ended up probably joint leading scorer. But one other point in relation to Joe Kavanagh vanished after that goal. I don't remember him really being in the game afterwards. It was a time maybe when he should have maybe picked up the game from that. It should have given him an incentive to keep it going and to improve in that. But he was anonymous for the rest of the game. Now maybe that's a tribute to Enda McManus, but it was probably from a Cork point of view somewhat disappointing that he didn't build on that through the second half.
I was mentioning there, by the way, the 2 yellow cards picked up by Meath in the course of that match. I said Hank Traynor got the first one. John McDermott was the player, in actual fact, who got the other yellow card. He's on screen. Nobody's going to give out to him down on screen this evening, I am sure, Kieran Mullooly.
That's for sure, Michael Lester. As you can see, Michael, great scenes of celebrations here in Screen in County Meath this evening. If we can get a bit of quiet for a moment, I can tell you about the game itself, because over the last half an hour we've had scenes of wild excitement entertained here. This parish, Michael, I'm told, has a population of less than 2,000 people. When it comes to productivity for creating Gaelic footballers, they've a hell of a knack, haven't they? Because apart from John McDermott, of course, the performance this afternoon of Trevor Giles tapping on those critical points in the second half was indeed so significant. And with some of the people from the locality here, we're here in Frank Swan's public house in the middle of the village, and all these people have been enjoying the game, haven't you?
Very good, very brilliant. We couldn't get tickets.
Here's a man here who knows something about football over the years. One man who's played for the parish here, Tommy Callahan. Tommy, enjoyed the game. What was the critical factor in Meath's success?
Well, I think it all went down to experience in the finish. Like, you know, the couple of pints in the finish. Cork missed a few chances, like, but when it came to the when it came down to the crunch, like, Meath were able to take their scores in the last few minutes, and I think that was the vital factor in the game.
There's a lady here beside you, Tommy, who almost lost her life at one stage during the second half. I looked around, she had her head buried in her hands. You enjoy that?
I thought they were going to lose at one stage. But thanks to God they didn't. So I was born and reared in Meath, so it was great to see Tommy Dowd coming back on.
Tommy Dowd, great cheer for him, but of course the locals, I know you were watching very carefully, the performance of John McDermott and Trevor, very special.
Brilliantly, played brilliantly. A brilliant team, a team effort, a great performance, and a brilliant team.
I know it's early in the day, Michael, but it's not too late, not too early for a song before we leave this part of the world.
Oh, my feet are here on Broadway, this blessed harvest morn, and all the egg that's in them for the spot where I was born. My weary hands are blistered from working cold and day, but all the swing has started to fields of Irish wheat. Yet I've a chance to wander back, I know the king that holds. Sure, I'd sooner see the heart turn free down the old barn.
Let there be no doubt about it, that the Sam Maguire Cup is heading down the old bog road this evening. Martin Carney, an important point that one of the people there in the pub made, the experience of the Meath team. This is a young Cork team. They came at the beginning of the year, they won a National League title, which was a big achievement in itself. Meath have done this before.
That's right, Meath were there before. They were there 3 years ago, and like they're used to playing in Croke Park more than Cork are. Secondly, there was only six of last year's championship team represented Cork this year, and it was a huge turnover of players. And I think the occasion affected more Cork players than it affected Meath players. And I think in the end of the day, in a tightly contested game, that is significant.
We will be looking later on tonight on the Sunday game, Paul Early, at our man of the match. But who are the players in this game that stood out for you?
Well, I think, you know, Meath over the last few years, their success has been founded on a great defence. And today, again, they're the unsung heroes of the Meath team. But players like, particularly on the right wing, Mark O'Reilly, Paddy Reynolds, and Hank Traynor in the opposite wing. All three players that were marking were substituted today. And they won balls in the second half. That really
absolutely fantastic, Jim.
They won balls in the second half. That
really absolutely fantastic, Jim. I think before the game, Meath people were a little bit apprehensive, but I think they showed great character and a bit of experience and maturity. I thought sort of, won out in the end, and I think definitely, from Meath point of view, they were sort of stronger and mentally, physically. Both Meath were much stronger, I thought, in the end.
Bernard, you've been chatting here to Shea Fahey. Was that a friendship formed in football?
I think it was in Canaries one night about 4 o'clock in the morning, actually, I think, to tell you the truth. So we kept in touch ever since. But I think a lot of Meath players and Cork players have mingled throughout the day here, and it's been great. But out in the field is a bit different, and it's tough on the Cork players. It's not easy to come up here today. They're a young team. They've had a great year, and I think they'll be back next year.
Shea, what did you make of it?
Well, obviously, from a Cork point of view, it's obviously very disappointing that we lost. But I think really at the end of the day, the better team probably won. I was saying before the game, I thought the last 5 or 6 minutes were obviously going to be vital, and they were, and Meath were there, they were strong at the end. And they made a few very good tactical switches that made a difference at the end, I thought.
Joe, another great goal in an All-Ireland football final, but sadly the same result.
Yeah, the wrong side of an All-Ireland again, you know. It's heartbreaking for us. We put in a huge effort. We firmly believe coming up here that we had a great chance of winning, and you know, for a while when they missed that penalty and I did step up and get that goal, you know, it was in the balance, but they just came out and got a couple of scores, you know. It could have been us, but they were probably the better side on the day. We made a lot of mistakes, and you know, mistakes cost games, and that's the way it goes, you know.
Cork dominated for a period for maybe 15 or 20 minutes after half-time, and basically we just didn't get enough scores while we were dominating. Meath then took over, and from there to the end they basically dominated, you know.
You must have felt good around the time of the goal. Joe got a terrific goal.
Oh, definitely. We had a great start to the second half. It was fantastic. Joe got a fantastic goal. Only a goal typical of Joe Cavan, in fairness to him. It looked very good for Cork in time, but it just wasn't to be on the day, you know.
John, a lot of your players are young, but no doubt they'll have a chance to come back here.
Oh, I look forward to watching them here someday, maybe, yeah.
You'll be back with them?
Who knows, sir? Hard to know, you know. It's disappointing after losing Ireland, but I've no doubt they will be back anyway, you know. It's great.
Any ideas of what Tony Davis's verdict on this one might be?
He'll be fairly quiet tonight, I'd say, yeah.
It was a less happy journey back to the Burlington Hotel for the Cork footballers than for the hurlers a couple of weeks ago. But, though broken-hearted, Larry Tompkins was still proud of his team.
This is about players. I can only go back to the time when I was playing myself, and I remember how gutted I was when I come off the field and losing All-Irelands. Like, we would have lost 2 that time and came back to win 2 afterwards. I think there's a lot of character in this team, and I do hope, for their sake, like that, you know, that they will come back and win it, because they deserve it, because they are a fine bunch of lads. It's a credit to work with them, and, you know, I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart for the effort that they have shown me throughout the last few years. It has been great to work with them, and it was a privilege to work with them. And as I say, I'm gutted for them, and I'm gutted for our supporters that has followed us through the year.
And what about Sean Og, Larry? He won't now do the double as Teddy did, but yet you haven't given him a vote of confidence. He was out and played the game of his life. He was the talk of Croke Park, really.
Yeah, Sean Og's a great fella. He's an outstanding footballer and hurler, and as I said, you know, I suppose in a special way I'm devastated for Sean Og that he didn't come off for today, because, you know, he really deserves it because of his commitment, his sacrifice to it. And as I said, you know, again, he's a joy to work with, and as I say, I'm just very, very disappointed for himself and for his family like that it didn't come off today. But there'll be other great days for Sean Og. He's a tremendous athlete and a tremendous player and a tremendous gentleman.
Yes, well, that was the situation in Croke Park and at the Burlington Hotel earlier on. But since then, of course, the teams have had a short rest and are now at their respective functions. And one is entitled to assume that the livelier function is Meath's banquet. Ger Canning and Marty Morrissey have gone there on our behalf. So let's go and see who they've got to talk to.
Well, there's your answer, Michael. They're having a party here. And I've got Sean Boylan with me. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's a case of congratulations to Meath. It was a great day for you. It just gets better and better, Sean.
It's a wonderful day, Ger. It's a wonderful day for our county, Ger. It's a wonderful day for a great bunch of players. Commiserations with Cork. They tried very, very hard. By far, they've been the best team in Ireland this year. It was an honour and a privilege for us to play against them. They put up a fantastic effort on the day. The lads were able to turn things around when things seem to be going against us, and full credit to them. And we're absolutely delighted.
You've in fact now built 2 winning All-Ireland teams. That's some going.
Well, you can thank Eamon O'Brien and Frank Foley for their huge involvement with me. Absolutely immense.
Yeah, they've been superb as well. You haven't an awful lot of voice left.
No, the voice is...
You a herbal remedy for that?
I tell you, there could be a lot of remedies around here tonight, Ger, but they wouldn't all be in Old Clark's box either, you know what I mean? But we'll have a great night. It's a wonderful day. It's a wonderful night for our county. It's at any stage, it's a great honour, it's a great privilege to win in All-Ireland. This year is particularly special for me because it's 50 years after Meath won their first one, and it's a tribute to the men of 49, you know, the torch that they lit for us.
Absolutely, and they are well represented here as well tonight. and it's great to see them. I'll tell you what, it's just as well you never decided to go into politics, because there's a few guys in this room right now would be looking over their shoulders. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Boylan, the manager.
The captain of today's team has the distinction of winning an All-Ireland medal every 3 years since 1990. And certainly today he scored 3 points. But maybe you might give us an insight into that. Since 1990, an All-Ireland medal every 3 years.
Yeah, minor 1990, under 21, 93, first senior 96, and today as well. So I'm happy enough today, Marty.
Some counties have the county champions representative as their captain. What do they do in Meath?
For the last few years, Sean has selected his own captain, and at the start of this year, he selected me, and I was delighted that he did. Give me the great honour of captaining the Meath team, and especially today to lift the salmon bear is a great honour for myself and my whole family as well.
I don't want to embarrass you, but when we were showing a few moments ago the presentation of the cup and you were lifting the Sam Maguire as captain of Meath, I noticed, just out of the corner of my eye, a little tear from Graham Gerrity.
I suppose it's a very emotional time for myself. It's a lifetime dream for myself to play for Meath for a start, but to captain the team to win All-Ireland this year, it's unbelievable. So it's
As captain during the championship season, did you ever have to have a little private chat, man-to-man, with one of the players for not training? Do you want to list out the whole panel, no?
I think I had to look in the mirror a few times and give out to myself for that.
Graham Gerrity, captain of the All-Ireland winning team.
Yeah, so that's the situation then at the Meath banquet. They're all in fine spirits down there. We'll be going back to them a little bit later on as well. But joining me in studio right now are Colm O'Rourke. Colm goes to Australia. Happy man with his Irish party. Tony Davis, by contrast, well, he had to watch brother Don on the losing side again in the All-Ireland final today, Tony. But I'm sure that you want to add your congratulations to Meath and their win.
Yes, without doubt. You have to congratulate them on the win. They deserve their win in the end. Nobody from Cork can have any complaint, really. The way they played in the game, they got as much possession as they got, and they used it to maximum effect, whereas Cork didn't. Cork had an awful lot of possession and they wasted it by bad passing or by shooting quickly. And if you look at the way they played, quick balls into Graham Gerrity and Ollie Murphy, and of course Evan Kelly scoring 3 points. I suppose when you look at the programme before and you don't, with respect to Evan, expect him to be getting 3 points in every game. He's a worker. But really when the pressure was on for Meath, Trevor Giles and Graham Gerrity in the second half came up trumps, and they were the leaders they had, whereas Cork were looking to people like Philip Clifford, and he really played well. But they didn't have too many other options, and you could always expect Meath in certain circumstances with about 10 minutes left and it's tight that they'll put it out of the bag, and they did.
Well, Colm O'Rourke, 4 All-Irelands for Meath since 1987. You were part of that success and obviously delighted with this team now.
Yes, it's a fantastic day for Meath. I'm really thrilled for the players because this year this group of players seem to have gone about their task with a greater discipline than maybe before. Since 1996, I think a lot of people would have expected a young team like Meath to win more. And this year, I think every game they've showed a mental resolve, particularly in the last quarter of games. And that's a great tribute to Sean Boylan. But also I'd like to say, Larry Tompkins should be proud of his Cork team. They've won the league. He's after coming to Croke Park with, I think, a team that only had 6 players started in last year's championship. They're young, they're hungry. They lost their way a bit today, got a lot of possession and ran down a lot of cul-de-sacs. But Larry is right. He should be proud of his team. They added greatly to the occasion. It wasn't a great game, but when you win in All-Ireland, you couldn't care less what sort of a match it is.
Well, when Meath had possession of the ball today, they knew the direct route to goal and to the points, obviously, as well. You've both been looking at some of the scores they got. I mean, what about Ollie Murphy? I mean, he's blistered through the championship all this summer and did it again.
Yes, well, Meath, they have a very simple style of football. Everybody knows that. They kick the ball. You know, that's the first option. And Cork today often kicked it as a last option. And Trevor Giles, long ball in, Graham Gerrity knocks it down. The Cork backs were caught a bit flat-footed, but that's a brilliant finish by a player who has scored important goals for Meath in this year's championship.
Again, another long ball in by John McDermott. A simple thing again. And again, that ball could have broken anywhere, but Evan Kelly had a great point. 3 good first half points. Again, Graham Geraghty in the second half, with his left leg from 40 yards, being shadowed by Sean O'Halpine, but he had the presence of mind and the experience to look up and took a great score.
And I suppose the final point that we have in this sequence is a trademark Meath point. Trevor Giles running left and puts the ball in the opposite direction. Graham Geraghty knew what was happening. It has worked all year. It's very difficult to combat that as a back and over the bar.
Tony, Paul Early, who was on our afternoon panel, our live panel, made the point at half-time to me, and he said, you know, this is a little bit like last year when Galway struggled in the first half, and then they came out and in 10 minutes of the second half turned the game around, and it seemed like Cork might do that today because things just seem to be falling into their lap for a 10-minute period.
Yeah, there was great intensity about the Cork play in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the second half, and they dominated totally. Won 5 to 5 points at half-time, and of course the first thing the Cork got was a penalty, or Meath got was a penalty. Yeah. Long ball in again. Great catch by Graham Geraghty, and the penalty. Trevor Giles comes up to kick it, and as against Mayo a couple of years ago, hits it to the same side. I'm sure Kevin Dwyer would have been watching the videos of that. A good save. Cork goes straight up the field, and Philip Clifford, who was a real leader today for Cork, got a terrific score. And here again we see Joe Kavanagh. This is possibly one of the best goals I've seen in Croke Park. Working very, very hard, getting a goal only Joe Kavanagh could get. And really at that stage I thought we were back in with a great chance. But really at this stage, the players of Meath stepped up. Graham Geraghty, Tommy or Trevor Giles, yeah. John McDermott worked very, very hard, and in the end of the day they won it for them.
Cork reached a point where they got, I think, to 1-8 and then stopped scoring. And I mean, there was something like 20 minutes almost left in the game.
Yes, I think a lot of what happened Cork today, it looked from the video and the game that they were passing the ball sideways and forwards. But I attribute this to 2 facts. One of them, that Meath worked hard and they blocked them down. And when they going into block down, they just laid it off because they couldn't get a clear shot. But there was a bad movement in the Cork full forward line as well. Because when you're out the field trying to find a player, it's very, very hard if somebody doesn't show for the ball. And underneath we were watching, Ollie Murphy must have ran 50 miles over and back across the field. And Anthony Lynch and himself had another terrific battle there.
Colin, conditions were slippy out there today. There were showers during the thing. Obviously, fellows are slipping around the place. But did this excuse some of the woeful kicking that we saw in the final?
Well, no, it doesn't, because a good player should be able to kick any ball in any conditions. And rain is a sort of a thing that you're used to playing with most of the time. But Cork were guilty of very aimless kicking a lot of the time. And they missed a lot of very good chances. Philip Clifford, as he did all day, showing out in front. Now, Paddy Mahoney won't want to see that. That, by his standards, is an easy chance. And, you know, Cork had plenty of that sort of thing. At times they threatened to overwhelm Meath in terms of possession, but couldn't make it count. Now, I thought this was absolutely vitally missed by Joe Kavanagh. Side at 1-8. He had a great chance there. Normally, again, Joe Kavanagh would put that over. And for me, then, the real turning point, like there had been a few, the penalty you think had turned the whole thing Cork's favour. The ball goes out. The referee the umpire initially signals wide, then gives a 50. Now in wet conditions, that was a fantastic kick. Yeah. It put Meath in front at 1-9 to 1-8 with about 15 or 16 minutes to go, and of course Cork never scored after that. Meath took control of the game, as they have done in most of their championship matches so far this year. The last quarter has been their best quarter, when their fitness and strength and mental resolve really began to tell.
OK, gentlemen, thank you for the moment. Now, on that note, let's go back again to Meath's victory function, and we're going to rejoin Ger Canning and Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much.
The whole Meath back line.
Thank you very much.
The whole Meath back line. And the usual suspects around the middle of the field, I suppose, for Meath, and Evan Kelly had a great day. But I leave it to Tony to break the news.
I thought Trevor Giles in the second half as well had a great game, got a lot of ball, and Graham Geraghty got the scores. But I'm sure we've left someone out, and our man of the match tonight is Mark O'Reilly.
Congratulations to Mark O'Reilly then, and let's go back down to Jury's Hotel and congratulate and award Mark O'Reilly on his man of the match. Today.
Yes, I thought he had a superb game. He's a real terrier at cornerback. There was nobody beat him today. There was 2 of his men that were on him, and he beat the 2 of them fairly handsomely. He got balls he should never have got, and I think he epitomises the defence from Meath.
And this is for you. Congratulations to you. Here's my microphone down.
As well as that, Mark, you'll be glad to know that we've got his and her watches to give you. That'll come in handy. You'll never miss a training session again. And I've got Lisa Brown here from the Bank of Ireland. She's sponsorship manager. And Lisa, you've got a cheque for £25,000 for the Players Tour. There you go. Money as well. Thank you, Lisa. Now then. You hadn't a bad old day?
Sorry?
You hadn't a bad old day?
Nothing too
Did you
bad.
enjoy every minute of it?
No, not really. No, the second half was a few hairy moments, but lucky enough we went right in the end.
Between colleges and inter-county, you've had a great couple of years recently.
Yeah, one of the singers from down in Tralee, Val Andrews was down there. He was super coach down there, himself and Pat Flanagan. I think they were Cavan now, you know, they're doing a great job up there. So, and then I suppose won a few under 21s, and then 96 came, you know. So this just seems to go on, you know.
Bit of a roller coaster. And of course you're part of what people regard all over the country in Gaelic football as the best full back line in the country.
Yeah, well, I suppose Darren, I think, has been the best full back in the country for the last 3 years. So,
well, it's a very strong line. It always has been. It was tight and it was tense there today. What about the last 5-6 minutes? Did you see Cork possibly coming back, possibly snatching a goal?
yeah, I think once they got the goal, I think collectively we kind of said they didn't get another goal. You know, the lads were putting the points over and up front, you know. So, well, yeah, I think the full back line played well again. I think Spud was super again, you know, and Darren again was super, you know.
Well, listen, you have been chosen as the RTE Man of the Match for the 1999 football final. Mark O'Reilly. And you got the lovely Waterford Crystal as well to take home with you. Congratulations once again.
Yeah, great day for Meath, great day for Mark O'Reilly. But Tony Davis, maybe to just wrap up this year's All-Ireland final, what about Cork? What about their future?
Well, I think today, okay, beaten, but it has been a good year for Cork. Won the National League, got to an All-Ireland final. If you had said to us at the start of the year that we'd have reached those, we'd be very happy. Larry Tompkins is building a new team. They're very young, and experience told at the end of the day today. And I suppose they'll learn from this. Hopefully they'll all stay on. They should stand back now and don't say anything about retiring. Get back again and work hard, and maybe you'll be back again next year.
A little bit of patience, Colin. It takes time.
Yes, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Meath are about 3 years further in the stage of development than Cork are. And Meath are a very hardened championship outfit at this stage. But Larry Tompkins has done a very good job with Cork. I think people should realise that. Remember, they were dumped out very early the last 2 years. He's come now with a new team. Cork will get better. There have a lot of players that were the first day on the big stage. Meath are in Croke Park almost every